Friday night football at Bloomington Stadium. It's senior night for the Jaguars as they take on the visitors from Chaska High School. Hello again, everybody. Josh Powers along with John Carlson. Paul Fournier will join us in a bit. A chance here, John, to get a big win against Chaska, but it's going to be tough. They're the number one ranked team in Class 5A right now.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Chaska's always going to be a good team, but when you play a good team like that, that's when you got to step up, play your best football. So we're going to see if Jefferson can do that tonight.
All right, plenty more on this game as we go along, but it is senior night. We're going to send it down for the senior night ceremony here at Bloomington Stadium. We'll see you back here in a couple minutes for more on the pregame show.
With the coach, Taylor Mancini. Lucy Snyder with Sarah Snyder and Mia Snyder. And Haley Wheeler, parents Tom and Jennifer Wheeler with Natalie Wheeler. And now our senior football players. Number 1, Nate Chow, parents Quinn and Melinda Chow. Number 3, Gavin Lyons, parents Patty Getsky and Ryan Lyons. Number 6, Matthew Kipper, parents Kathy and Obie Kipper Jr. Number 7, Mason Wolf, parents Rick and Stacy Wolf with brother Evan Wolf. Number 17, Hunter Edwards, parents Brian and Vicky Edwards. Number 18, Eli Truesdale, parent Karen Maleka. Number 39, Usama Drake, with Valerie Shirley Musab Drake. Number 55, Zane Gellen, parents Joseph and Kelly Gellen. Senior number 68, Trevon Teller, with parent Jill Teller. Number 76, Zach Wanzak, with parents Joan and Jason and brother Sam. And number 79, Lincoln Latimer, with parents LaRon and Brenda Latimer. Thank you to our seniors and parents for your participation and support of the Jefferson football program. We wish our seniors all the best in the future, and thank you, parents, for all the work you do to get them to this point. Thank you.
All right, so there's our Senior Day celebration here at Bloomington Stadium. Josh Powers, John Carlson back with you on the pregame show, Jefferson and Chaska. As we touched on in the open, Chaska's a perfect 6-0. John, they're the number 1 ranked team in QRF. Had a big win a couple weeks ago. They've had several big wins, but most notably against Apple Valley. That was a battle of 2 undefeated teams. Tough challenge for the Jaguars tonight, but if they were to get a win, it'd be their biggest of the season.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for them is just kind of stay focused. Don't try to take shots. Just kind of one step at a time for them. Not try to make a big play on every play. Just kind of get it. If you have to punt, play the field position game, and just get what you can, and then hope for some good stuff to happen.
All right, you can see I've got my BEC wear on. John here, of course, former Jaguar wide receiver, current wide receiver for the Bethel Royals, just north of the Twin Cities. You've got a different shirt on. Talk about what that shirt means tonight.
Yes, so this is a Beat Cancer shirt, and it actually is going for Chaska's side. They have a student over at Chaska that was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and he played football, but once his diagnosis came, he had to stop, and I know that was really tough for him. So he's actually here tonight, and he's going to be an honorary captain for them, and it's just something really cool that my dad actually kind of talked to the Chaska head coach and kind of set it up, and it's just really cool that both schools could get together and kind of do that thing for him. So.
Yeah, we'll certainly touch on that as the night goes, but should be an emotional night for both sides. As you mentioned, your dad was totally behind what we will see tonight and tackle cancer on the minds of everyone here at Bloomington Stadium. Let's look at the AP Top 10 from last week, because this is a pretty big game here, especially for Chaska, but there's other big games around the Metro, most notably, as you look at the Associated Press Top 10 here, notice number 1, Eden Prairie, and number 2, Minnetonka. Well, they play each other tonight, John, so that should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And actually, my brother's over coaching at Minnetonka, sophomore, so, I kind of got a little bias for them. So that's going to be a really fun game for them. He's over there, and it's going to be really good. And it's going to be 2 powerhouse teams going at it, who are 2 always powerhouse teams. So it's going to be a really fun game to watch.
And, of course, as a former Jaguar, myself included, not a bad thing when Eden Prairie is not able to win on the football field, but that certainly should be entertaining. Edina, just 1 loss. That was to Minnetonka last week. They didn't even move very far. They were at number 2 last week. They go to number 3. Centennial having a great season along with Totino Grace, just 1 loss for them. Rosemount sneaking up in the standings there at number 6. And then you look at number 8, there's a 5A team there in Cooper. We saw them earlier this year against Kennedy. They've got some tremendous athletes, and they're rolling right now.
Yeah, Cooper's always been kind of a team that can always had that potential to be great, and they have a lot of good athletes over there, and they always can do something special, and you're seeing it this year that they can just come out and they can play some really good football.
St. Michael Albertville, they were a team in 5A last year, now 6A. They lost recently down to number 9, Maple Grove, rounding out the top 10. Let's take a look at the games from last week in the Suburban White. Jefferson, a tough one on the road against a 6A school in Armstrong. Chaska getting that big win over Waconia. That was a high-scoring game, 44-30, a lot of offense there, but Chaska really was comfortably ahead throughout that game. Last week you saw it on BEC-TV, Apple Valley. I know they're not in the top 5 right now, but they are as good of a team as there is out there, 56-13. And then Chanhassen, they're getting back on track. They're 4-2 right now. They play Kennedy tonight, 28-7. They got a home win there. Let's take a look at the standings through 6 weeks, just 2 weeks left in the season, which will actually come to a close, the regular season, next Wednesday. Chaska at 3-0, 5-0 overall, not 3-2, but they are 5-0 or 6-0, excuse me, overall, 3-0 in the district. Waconia at 2-1 in the district, Chanhassen 1-1, and then Jefferson and Kennedy rounding out the standings. Games this week, obviously the one here tonight, Chaska at Jefferson. We mentioned Kennedy at Chanhassen, and that should be a good one there. Holy Angels against Waconia, John. Waconia having a very good season, a bounce-back season for them.
Yeah, Waconia is also one of those teams that has potential to always be a good football team, and again, they're proving it this year, and we saw that against when they played us. We had a tight game, but they're a good football team, and they're out and they're going to prove that.
All right, our key matchup tonight, let's dive into this one a little bit deeper. The Jefferson offensive line versus that Chaska defensive line. We've seen when Jefferson is at its best this year, John, they're able to both run and throw. They've got to be able to run the ball with Rashawn Cage tonight, but it starts up front.
Yeah, and that's, as you said it right there, it starts up front. Everything that's going to happen is going to be up front. If you can't get your O-line going, you're not going to get your offense going. Said it was Rashawn Cage. He's a great running back. He's just going to need some holes, and if you give him those holes, he's gonna make a lot of plays. So hopefully the O-line can get going tonight.
He doesn't need many holes. Sometimes he can get them on his own, but he could certainly use some help up front. So it's our key matchup for tonight. Let's talk about some of the key players in tonight's game. Caden Osmondson, he's only a junior. John, I know you got like guys that can catch the football. He's shown that as a tight end, but he's also moving back to linebacker tonight in a little bit of a position move for him. We're going to see him on both sides of the field. He continues to just get better every game. Yeah, obviously, like you said, he's vital and he can do more than one thing, which is really important, especially with a young team like Jefferson is, only having 11 seniors on the team. And it's important that juniors like that can step up and make big plays and just get experience is what he's had a lot of this year. And so hopefully that's going to bode well for him going forward in the rest of the season and then into his senior year as well. Another guy for the Jaguars flashing some big time play potential, Brian Smiley. Very athletic guy on the defensive line. Maybe not the biggest guy, but he's got some reach and some size. They're going to need him to help stop the run. Yeah, and like you said, not the biggest guy, and that's kind of Jefferson football. We're not going to have the biggest guy, but as long as we get that effort and that intensiveness, that's going to make us win games. Because if we're not going to be that big, that's what we got to make up for it with the effort and intensity, and Brian's doing that for us. As you would expect from the #1 ranked team in QRF, they've got some star players. Connor Suba is a dual threat quarterback, John. Very accurate. He can also take off and run. He's been making plays all season. Yeah, and for a defense, when you got a dual threat like that, it's really tough to stop. You got to focus on first that passing game, which he's really good at, and then also that run game. So I mean, the DB's got to be on both pass and run alert, and linebackers, same thing for them. And it's really tough because you think you can get him, and then he just kind of scampers out of there and gets big yards, can demoralize the defense. Then you talk about some athletes. Micah Roan, we're going to see him on the defensive line. We're going to see him as the kicker in this game. He's a guy that's getting some Division I looks as well. I know Minnesota's been interested in him. So you got a talented guy there too. Yeah, especially when you get a guy that has D1 offers, you got to pay a lot of attention to him, and hopefully the Jays do that tonight. And when you got an athlete like that, it's just going to be tough to stop. So hopefully, you can just slow him down at least a little bit, even if you can't completely stop him. All right, let's take a look at our keys to the game here, John. Obviously, a tough challenge against Chaska. And you mentioned a dual threat QB, so I don't know if it's totally possible to do this, but you definitely want to make Chaska one-dimensional. And I think the easiest way to do that, the most effective thing for Jefferson, and that's to stop the run. Yeah, that's where you got to kind of start with, is stop the run and kind of play out from there. You have a game plan going into it, obviously, but you got to make adjustments depending on how he's doing and what looks they're giving you on offense. When you're looking to pull an upset, one of the easiest ways to do that is to be plus in the turnover game. That's Jefferson's second key to do. Yeah, in any game, turnovers are going to be big, but especially when you're going up against a team that's as good as Chaska is, you're going to need to win that turnover battle to have a shot to win this game. So if you win that, then that gives you a really good opportunity to make some other plays on the offense end, so hopefully we can do that as well. Then contain the QB, John, dual threat, guys on the ends, like a Brian Smiley, for example, on the defensive end spot, need to be sound in what they do tonight. Hopefully they just come prepared. Hopefully they know what they're going to have to deal with that quarterback and that dual threat option, and hopefully know that, hey, he's going to run, he's going to pass on us, and we just got to contain that. All right, beautiful night for football here at Bloomington Stadium. Temperatures in the 50s, no threat of weather at all. And it should be a fun one tonight between Chaska and Jefferson, as Chaska looks to move to 7-0. Jefferson looking to get their second victory of the season, as we saw them defeat Kennedy earlier this year. John, as you know, beating Kennedy is a big thing. What did that feel like to you when you beat Kennedy as Jefferson? We saw them a couple weeks ago able to do that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Whenever you're going against kids that you kind of grew up playing with and against, and now they're going to a different school, you get it under the lights in front of everybody. It's always a really fun game. But one thing that we focused on was it's not the season. It's really fun to do it, but it's got to be more than that. And hopefully that's what they're talking about too. Just because we beat Kennedy doesn't mean the season's over. We got to keep focusing on the next game like tonight. Our third member of our crew is down on the sidelines with more. Paul Fournier, what do you have, Paul?
Thanks, Josh. Just got done watching the coin flip there. A couple things. It's a beautiful night. we've only had one bad night for football, and that was last week when it was all rainy. But tonight it's a beautiful night. It's currently 56, going to get down to about 47, 46 tonight throughout the game. But all the rain is going to hold off throughout the night, so that's going to be good. A couple things in Jefferson, we saw the senior night. It's 11 seniors out there losing. Come 2 weeks from now when they go into the playoffs. There's a few games I'm watching tonight, scoreboard watching. First one, obviously, Kennedy at Chanhassen. That's always a good game. Then, as you guys already mentioned, Tonka is playing EP. I will also root for Tonka because I, like a Kennedy fan and Kennedy grad, do not want to see EP win in football anymore. Holy Angels is at Waconia. That's a pretty big game. Holy Angels lost last week to Benilde off 1 point. Waconia coming off a pretty big loss here to this Chaska team that we just saw. And the last one I'm going to watch is Park of Cottage Grove at St. Thomas Academy. That has a little bit of playoff implications when it comes to a Kennedy coming up this year. One of the things from my new feature, Paulie's Playbook, for both teams, it's going to be have fun. It's a great night for football. Doing a great cause. Jefferson's got a blackout. We see Chaska's got the pink out, obviously in honor of their player Luke Welch, who, as John mentioned before, was diagnosed with cancer at age 4. Went away, as we see here, the B-roll of him doing the official coin flip. He got diagnosed at 4. It went away, all the signs that he came back. He was unable to continue playing football, and he loves the sport. Coach Carlson's wife and family is good family friends with him. So that's how they made it all for this one game. And again, Coach Carlson talks about it. Football is one big family, and again, you're seeing it here tonight, bringing in a team from so many miles away in Chaska out here to to Bloomington Stadium to honor their players. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Paul. Great to see Luke Welch out there for the coin flip, and you guys know his family quite well. What is a night? What do you think a night like this means to him and his family?
I think it means a lot, just to kind of get that support from everyone, especially from someone that's not in your town. Because, I mean, when you get support from people in your town, that's your community. But when you can get a reach out from another whole community, that's really special, and I think that's going to mean a lot to their family.
All right, that's part of the backdrop here. Week number 7 of the season, number 1 Chaska at Jefferson. We'll have much more tonight, including the opening kickoff, all next. And stick around for the marching band as well as pregame continues here at Bloomington Stadium.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bloomington Stadium, home of the mighty Jefferson Jaguar football team and the Jefferson High School Jaguar marching band. Coming downfield now are members of the Jefferson Flag Corps and the Jefferson Drum Line. And now, from the South End Zone, please welcome the 2017 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. Band, take the field.
Eyepiece feel? Does it feel too far one way or the other?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the 2017 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. The band is led on the field by senior drum major Alexis Sherber and is directed by Mr. Dan Fredlin and Mr. Jeff Levine. The flight corps advisor is Miss Amanda Maston. And now, the pride of Minnesota, your 2017 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. I believe in the United States of America, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. a democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a union, one and inseparable, established upon the principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity. Therefore, I believe it is our duty to our country to love it, support its Constitution, obey its laws, and respect its lives. To these principles, we dedicate ourselves this evening as we work together in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They're gonna do different things. They're gonna make different shapes.
Jaguar fight song. 2017 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. Welcome to Bloomington Stadium and tonight's football game visiting Chaska Hawks and your Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. We appreciate your attendance here tonight and hope you enjoy the game. First, the offensive starters for Chaska.
Number 1, junior wide receiver Justin Bach. Number 2, sophomore wide receiver Colden Dodds. Number 11, senior quarterback Connor Suba. Number 45, sophomore running back Marcus Havlicek. Number 50, senior offensive lineman Micah Roan. Number 52, sophomore offensive lineman Max Lommel. Number 57, senior lineman Isaac Martig. Number 75, junior offensive lineman Ethan Jackman. Number 78, senior lineman Andrew Stoffel. Number 82, senior wide receiver Jacob Van Epps. And number 83, junior wide receiver Nolan Hansen. The Hawks are coached by Brian Dahl. And now for the Jaguars. Announcing our offense. Number 1, senior wide receiver Nate Chow. Number 4, junior wide receiver Quentin Morris. Number 5, junior quarterback Isaiah Watts. Number 6, senior wide receiver Matthew Kipper. Number 8, junior wide receiver Newton Ombongi. Number 22, junior running back Rashawn Cage. Number 52, junior tackle Dylan Kiefer. Number 56, sophomore guard Jack Stone. Number 57, sophomore center Sawyer Vazca. Number 71, junior guard Zach Spendingson. And number 76, senior tackle Zach Wanzak. The Jags are coached by Tim Carlson. The officials tonight are Andrew Sueda, Craig Pearson, Guy Dawson, Andrew Balser, and Sean Prendergrass. This game is being played according to the rules of the South Suburban Conference and the Minnesota State High School League. These rules provide for fair competition and good sportsmanship among the players. Spectators can help promote good sportsmanship by observing the fundamentals of good sportsmanship printed in your program. Everyone is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this game at a high level of good sportsmanship. Spectators who engage in conduct dangerous to themselves or others, or who interfere with the rights of others to view the game, will be directed to leave. If this happens, the admission will not be refunded. We would like to call special attention to the fact that the Bloomington Public Schools are tobacco-free. We ask your cooperation in refraining from tobacco use in and around the stadium tonight. Finally, A reminder that parking at the stadium is allowed only in the designated spaces provided. Cars parked in fire lanes or no parking lanes will be ticketed and towed at owner's expense. It's a great night for football. Let's play football.
All right, so here we go. Week 7 of the season. Jefferson will kick. Chaska to receive the opening kickoff. Under the lights here. Beautiful night for football. Week 7 is underway. It's a low line drive kick and a couple of hops picked up by the Chaska Hawks. Return along the far sideline. They push it all the way out to across the 40-yard line. So pretty good field position. Kind of a rolling, bouncing kick, but Chaska just able to advance it up there. Good starting field position. Matt Thompson in on that tackle for the Jaguars. Talented sophomore. We saw him get a pick 6 a few weeks ago. Well, here come the Hawk offense. Connor Suba, their quarterback, will lead things. And their leading rusher, by the way, also, Marcus Holisek is in the backfield, number 45. We'll see a lot of motion from this Hawk offense. And Holisek takes it to midfield, a gain of 6 on Chaska's first play. They like to run that read option, don't they, John?
Yeah, that's going to be tough to guard, too, especially at a high school level. If a team can run a read option successfully, that's real tough for a defense to defend against.
And, of course, we'll see Suba keep it, I'm sure, tonight, and see as their leading rusher. Holicek still in the backfield, 2nd and 4. And he tries to keep it up the middle, dragging a tackler brought down there. C.J. Hayes making the stop, sets up 3rd down and 2. Nice job there by C.J. Hayes. So here we go, first 3rd down of the game. No huddle offense for Chaska, trying to limit Jefferson's substitutions. And Suba still in the pistol. Jefferson showing blitz. So Suba looks towards the sidelines to see if there's a change in the play. Need to take it to the Jaguar 46 as they bring a man in motion. Suba will keep, and he has the first down as he spins. Down inside the 39, John.
Yep, read option again. It's going to be tough for them to guard all night if they can keep doing that successfully and make their right reads.
Yeah, and they brought the receiver there on a little bit of jet action, Justin Bach. Again, that jet action meant to, again, try to spread that field out, or the defense out, John, on the field, and they've got to cover a lot of different ground potentially.
Yes.
So first down from the 39. Suba might throw for the first time. Under pressure, heaves it towards the sideline. Pass complete, broken tackle on the play. And now down to the 40-yard line.
Yep, you see how good he is just avoiding pressure back there in that pocket, too. When you think you get to him right at the last second, he can spin and escape away from that.
That's Nolan Hansen on the catch, but there is a flag down, so hold on.
Holding on the offense, number 45. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
So our first penalty of the night goes to Chaska, so wipe away that completion and catch for Nolan Hansen. By the way, Hansen, their leading receiver, 25 catches, 400 yards, and 1 touchdown. Chaska loves to get it done on the ground. We mentioned Suba's their leading rusher, 104 attempts, 482 yards on the ground. Suba back to throw, looking for a screen, complete far side with blockers in front. Terrific tackle made on the play by Matthew Kipper, who saved a big gain.
And if he doesn't get off that block, that play is going for a lot longer than just 7 or 8 yards.
Watch Kipper here, as that was caught by Halachik. And boy, what a key tackle there at the 41-yard line. So just a gain of 7 to bring up this 2nd down and 13. Hayes in motion, handoff, Holacic, big hole right. Actually, keeping it was Bach in motion. Well, they fooled me, John. That's, of course, probably the game plan for that offense. He's out of bounds at the 35-yard line, gain of 9.
And they're just going to keep going to that read option. It'll be tough, especially with this no-huddle offense as well as another element thrown in. It's going to be tough for Jefferson to make substitutions against it.
Yeah, and you don't always, and Jefferson will do the same thing, you don't always hurry up and rush through the play, but it's just designed to keep the same guys out there.
Yep.
Try to take advantage of some matchups, keep them on the field. 3rd down and 7, Suba over the middle, deflected and incomplete.
That's going to be big for Jefferson to get those 3rd down stops. If they can get them to 3rd down, it's going to be big time for them to make sure they can't get those long 3rd down conversions.
So on this 4th down and 7 now, Chaska keeping the offense on the field. They're at the 35-yard line, so in range for a field goal, not really a possibility. You're in that zone where you want to go for it on 4th down, and they will line up to do that. 4th down here. Holacic very tight in the pistol behind Connor Suba. Suba takes the snap, rolling right, throws far side, catch made, and a 1st down for the Hawks on the first big play of the game. That's Colden Dodds with the catch, just a sophomore, but he comes up big there on 4th down.
Yeah, that's Chaska showing their confidence, saying we're undefeated and we're gonna prove how good we are tonight. Just going for it on their fourth down of the game.
Dodds with his 13th catch of the season, so he only grabs about 2 catches per game, but that was a big one. 11-yard gain on 4th down and 7. Back to the ground to Holacic, and a quartet of Jaguars in on that play, including Caden Osmondson and others, to stuff that one for no gain. That's the kind of push Jefferson's going to need on that defensive line, isn't it, John?
Exactly. If they get that, especially with how good this Chaska team runs the ball, if they can get that push on that O-line all night, that's going to be really helpful to their defense.
Opening drive of the game, the number 1 Chaska Hawks in Jefferson territory, 2nd down and 10. Suba takes the shotgun snap, deep heave over the middle in traffic and broken up. Chaska looking for a flag, and I like the no call there, John, because the defensive back, Gavin Lyons, yes, there was some contact there, but he made a play on the football.
He broke for the ball, yep. Yeah, I like that no call as well, and if he got there a little earlier, but he was trying to make a play on the ball, not make a play on the receiver, so I like that call. Or no call, I should say.
So now 3rd down and 11. These are the types of situations you want Chaska to operate here on 3rd and long. Suba with 4 wide receivers at his disposal. Keep your eye on Hansen at the top of the screen. Suba takes the snap, and it's a jailbreak screen. Hansen gets a block, and he might be gone inside the 10. Down into the end zone for the touchdown. So on 3rd and 11, Chaska runs the jailbreak screen. Nolan Hansen with the touchdown, just his 2nd of the year for Chaska's leading receiver, and the Hawks are on the board.
Yep, and those are those 3rd downs that you got to get those stops on if you're gonna have a chance against a good team as Chaska is.
And that's what Chaska's done all year, John, is make clutch plays like that. They had that touchdown in the final minute against Apple Valley to move into the lead. And converting there on 4th down and 7, and then 3rd and 11 as the defensive lineman Micah Roan, we saw earlier this year, showing you his athletic ability as he pounds through that extra point. 7-0. Chaska, 3 minutes and 53 seconds. They go down the field 58 yards on that drive, including, as we talked about, that 3rd down conversion and 4th down conversion. So if you're the Jaguar D, John, you did some good things on 1st and 2nd down, just not able to close the deal. But from a defensive standpoint, you like the fact that you at least made Chaska a little bit uncomfortable in those situations.
Yeah, you like what you did there. You just one play that you kind of gave a big yardage and a touchdown to, but at the same time, you got to keep your head in. You got to finish those kind of drives that they have. You got to stop them on those 3rd downs. It's going to be big if they want to stay in this game.
So 8:07 left, first quarter. Josh Powers, along with former Jaguar wide receiver John Carlson. You had a 98-yard touchdown reception for Bethel last week. Your first collegiate touchdown. And you couldn't have gone much further than you
Yes.
did, 98 yards.
Yes. It was a lot of fun. Very tiring, but a lot of fun. It was worth it.
Then that kickoff taken by the Jaguars out to the 30-yard line. So not bad field position. C.J. Hayes, one of the up men on that short kickoff, able to return it. Walk us through that touchdown, John. From a week ago, you're back on your own 2-yard line, and what was the play call?
We just had 2 skinny posts on the right side of the field called, and we had a play action also, so those safeties both kind of bit on the run. It was easy to get behind them, and then quarterback underthrew a little bit because he just didn't want to underthrow it, and then 2 guys chasing me. It's all kind of a blur, but a lot of fun.
Jefferson first offensive play, Isaiah Watts to the sideline, incomplete intended for Nate Chow. Watts on the season for the Jaguars, 92 out of 175, 52.6%, 1,050 yards, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. We've been also seeing him keep it on the ground a bit more in recent weeks with some success as well. Second down, bubble screen, out to Kipper, and Matthew Kipper takes it out. Excuse me, that's Nate Chow takes it, or correction, not even Chow. Sorry about that. Quinton Morris with the catch, John. He takes it out to the 34-yard line to set up 3rd and 6.
Yep.
Jaguars quickly to the line of scrimmage. Can they convert on 3rd? Watts rolling and throwing into coverage, and it was nearly intercepted. Fortunate that it fell to the turf. Good coverage in the area as that pass was intended for Newton Umgambi. So 4th down for the Jaguars. And there you see it, John. Chaska able to convert on 3rd and long. Yep. Unfortunately, Jefferson not able to convert.
Yep, and that could be the difference in this game. This 3rd down is going to be a big down, like it is every game for teams that get wins.
Here's our first punt of the game, and it will take a little bit of a Jaguar bounce and be down at the 32-yard line. 34-yard punt, no return. 7:28 left here in the first quarter with the number 1 Chaska Hawks leading 7-0. Chaska 6-0 on the season. Victories over Coon Rapids, which was a good win to start the season, 24-17. Then we saw them in week 2 against Kennedy, 35-0. They also shut out Chan, 14-0. That was impressive. And then a couple close wins, John, against Orono, and then especially at Apple Valley, pulling that one out in the final minute before beating Waconia last week to move to 6-0.
Yeah, and those Orono and Apple Valley, 2 really good teams that they beat right there. So you see how good this Chaska team really is.
Jefferson 1-5 with the win coming in the Battle of Bloomington against Kennedy in a decisive performance. Suba on the option will keep it, and he's out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 6 for Connor Suba. Jefferson has had a tough schedule to say the least, John. Yep. I mean, I don't know if your dad is complaining to you on a nightly basis about this schedule, but you have road games at Chan, at Waconia, at 6A Armstrong, and then next week at Benilde, who's also a top 10 team. Then you had to play Orono and Apple Valley, as this pass is sailing out of bounds and incomplete, thrown away there. And then you have this game here at home against number 1 Chaska. I mean, my goodness, there's not been a break.
It's tough, but, I mean, those are the games that are fun to play against those really good teams. And, I mean, it really is going to show you what your team is made of, and it's going to help you grow as a team. So it's really fun to play in those kind of games.
Jefferson right now in the 6th position out of 6 in Section 3. We'll talk more about that as the night goes. 3rd down, another chance for the Jaguars to get off the field on 3rd and 4. Suba keeps, and he cuts it upfield and has the first down as he tumbles across the 45 to the 46. They needed 4, and they got 6 as they moved the chains again.
That was another 3rd down conversion by Chaska. You're going to have to try to get off the field here on those 3rd downs, especially early in the drive.
Suba's not a big guy, only 5'10", 175 pounds, but he has been making clutch plays all season. Fresh set of downs here for Chaska. Suba will keep. Breaks a tackle, Connor Suba, open field, only Kipper to beat. And Kipper makes the saving tackle at the 6-yard line, but Connor Suba goes for 47 yards to set up 1st and goal.
And you can see how he's just that dual threat quarterback like we talked about. He's going to be able to throw it, but that running ability of his is going to do a lot of damage to a defense.
Suba running for 80 yards per game. 9 rushing touchdowns so far through 6 games. They actually mark him out of bounds at the 16. Said he stepped out there, so it's a little bit of a break for the Jaguars. As leaning forward for a yard was the big guy Marcus Holacek to bring up 2nd down and 9. So instead of a 47-yard run, just 37 on that carry. Second down and 9. They can still get a 1st down. Can Chaska at about the 6-yard line. Suba pulls it out and keeps. Big hole right side. Connor Suba into the end zone. His 10th touchdown of the season, this time from 14 yards out. And Chaska, with the help of Suba, especially on that drive, making it look easy.
Yeah, that's what he can do is that read option. You can either give that to the running back, who's also a really good athlete, or he's going to take it for himself. And when he does that and has those big blockers out in front of him, it's going to be really tough to stop an athlete like him.
Micah Ronan for the point after. So Chaska 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Here in the first quarter, point after is good from Roan, 14-0. And again on that drive, a 3rd down. Jefferson had a chance to get off the field, 3rd and 4. But those 3rd and 4s or less, those are the ones that are tougher to stop.
Those are going to be tough. And but if you're going to beat a team like Chaska, those are the ones you're going to have to stop. And I mean, that's some positive things is you're getting them to those 3rd downs, which is good. But just kind of finish those and stay in it.
Connor Suba so far 5 carries for 68 yards already in the first quarter, which is almost at his per game average of 80 yards on the ground. We'll see if what Jefferson changes on offense here. Possession 2, John. Maybe a carry or 2 for Rashawn Cage, their leading rusher, 529 yards this season, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. That's going to get the job done. 88 yards per game. He's been putting up some solid numbers all season against top competition as well.
Yeah, he's just a great athlete. Played with his brother a little bit, who was also a great athlete. So I knew Rashawn a little bit, and I can tell right from when he was just a freshman that he was going to be something special, which he's proven he is.
Matt Thompson on the return for the Jaguars, pushed back as he crosses the 30. Give him some progress out to the 32-yard line. So second possession for the Jaguars. First one was a 3-and-out. As mentioned, Jefferson at Benilde next week. Final game of the regular season. Remember, that's a Wednesday game, so a very short week.
Yes.
Always a tricky week with MEA. And they're going to pick up this flag. No penalty. We will have Kennedy next week, of course, as Jefferson's on the road. The Eagles have a winnable contest against Richfield at home, so that'll be a chance for Kennedy to maybe get their first or second win of the season, depending on how things go out at Chanhassen tonight. Speaking of tough schedules, Jefferson's had it tough, but Kennedy about equally as tough as we've mentioned all season. Here's the first carry for Cage, and he's at the second level and just tripped up at midfield. Maybe a touchdown saving tackle by Justin Bach, but there you go. Your guy Rashawn Cage with a explosive play of 18 yards.
Yep, and that's what he can do is those explosive plays. And those are going to be really important against a team like Chaska with how good they are. If you get that momentum going, that can do a lot for not only your offense, but if your defense sees you making plays like that, they're going to believe they can make plays as well.
Big hole on that right side as well on that play. Back to Cage, and he just short of midfield. to the 49-yard line, gain of 1. As the clock ticking under 5 minutes remaining here in the first period. Jefferson and number 1 Chaska. Watts on the roll, flings it far side, man wide open, catch made, first down out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Nice throw and catch there. And that's Newton Ombangi with the first catch for him tonight.
Yeah, you see Jefferson going this no huddle as well, and that's gonna speed things up and hopefully can give them some momentum.
From the 41, fresh set of downs for the Jaguars. The toss to Cage. Rashawn Cage with that speed hits the edge and turns upfield out of bounds. Another nice run there on the right side. They're 2 for 2 running over there. Very near the first down. They're going to mark him. Actually, they're going to say he stepped out. Yeah, 2 yards short. 8-yard gain there for Rashawn Cage. 3 carries for 27 yards on this drive for Rashawn. 2nd and 2. Great situation here. Cage bounces it to the edge again. Rashawn Cage turns it upfield and spins a flag down late. He's near the 20, but that flag, unfortunately, in that area of holding downfield a bit. We'll check it.
Offense, number 6. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 2nd down.
And a costly penalty there. Now, the block was several yards upfield, so it's only going to be about a 3-yard penalty.
Yeah, that's going to be something that Jefferson's not going to be able to do against Chaska if they're going to want to win. They can't stall a drive like that and have those holding penalties way downfield.
Yeah, it only is a 3-yard loss from the original line of scrimmage. Remember, Cage was near the 20 when he was tackled. Now 2nd and 5. Watts on the move. He's hit. Ball comes out, and the Hawks recover. Our first turnover of the game. And it looked like the sack was made there by Evan Otter, number 81. Watch him on the edge. And I think a good call there.
Yep.
Ball definitely out. And Chaska clear possession at the 45-yard line. So penalty cost Jefferson some yardage and a first down, John. And then Chaska's defense, like they've been doing all season. Remember, they had back-to-back shutouts earlier this year. They make another key play.
Yep, and that's 2 things that can't happen is penalties and turnovers if you want to beat a team like this. There's going to be 2 things that are going to cost you a lot in down the road here.
So Chaska already leading by 2 touchdowns, 3rd possession. Connor Suba with a couple guys in the backfield, hands it right up the middle. And Holacek crosses midfield to the 48-yard line, gain of 7. They've got Suba. He's a really shifty guy, John, but then you got a big guy like Holacek.
Yep.
He's not a guy you like to face if you're a defense, especially when you get into like second halves of games and stuff like that.
Yeah, no one's going to want to get ran over, so that's tough when you got a guy that big coming right at you.
Holacek again bursting through. Does he have the speed to take it the distance? He's inside the 10 and caught from behind by Caden Osmondson inside the 5. A 45-yard run for number 45. He says he's got some speed with that size, but how about Caden Osmondson?
Yeah, that's good hustle not to give up on the play. Even if you get to that 2, he still didn't give up that touchdown. Hopefully he can come up with some big stops right here.
That is a 6'5", 205-pound defensive lineman tracking down the running back. Holacek again down to the 1-yard line as he creeps a yard closer. Three minutes remaining in this first quarter. Senior night, 11 seniors, John.
Yep.
Not a big class for the Jaguars.
No, not a big class, but it's a lot of fun to be with those guys that stay with it.
Holacek over the top for the touchdown. So Chaska once again uses a big play on the ground. Remember, it was a pass play on the first drive, a 24-yard pass play. Then they had that 37-yard run on the second drive, and that Holacek run of 45 yards on this drive. So it's really been 3 big plays for Chaska on each drive. But they found the end zone on all 3, and now Roan tacks on the point after, and it's up and good. 21-0. So a tough start for the Jaguars. John, you've been in some games like this where you're down big right away. What's the mindset of the team down there, you think, on the sidelines?
Don't get down on yourself. You've made some good plays, and you've given up a lot of big bad plays. If you look at the offense, they had a great drive going that kind of stalled out with that penalty, and then of course that fumble. But up until that point, you were moving the ball really well against their defense. So kind of keep with the mindset of, hey, let's keep going with our game plan. Let's make plays happen. Don't try to push it too much. Just keep working at it, and just kind of stay in the fight.
Been surprised on that last drive how effective they were running the ball. Remember, you're facing a number 1 team here, and Rashawn Cage looked like there was some holes there, and certainly he's got the athleticism to do some damage. So definitely a positive sign for the Jaguars on that last drive. Nice student section from Chaska on the far side. You mentioned the pink out in the open, John, for cancer awareness, as Suba boots this one high. And the return not as far this time for the Jaguars, only to the 22-yard line, and that's number 84, Manny Montgomery, the young sophomore, getting some playing time here. As we have a timeout, it looks like an injury here. We're a little bit blocked by the team on who that is, but it is a Jaguar down right now. And your dad's talked about it so often this year, pretty much every week on Inside Jefferson Football. Razor thin depth. Jefferson, you know, the numbers aren't what they used to be in terms of the enrollment, John, obviously now in 5A. Schools at this level, really across the board, look at any school, they don't have the kind of depth of the big 6A schools anymore, so you can't afford too many injuries.
Yeah, injuries are always going to be a problem for any team, but especially if you don't have these numbers and you got these thin guys. It's kind of just that next man up mentality. If you're on the team, you got to know that you can be going in at any time, and you got to step up when your number is called.
And that looks like Josh Gonzalez, 6'2", junior, number 45. We mentioned the 11 seniors. John, a chance to run through them here. Nate Chow, Gavin Lyons, Matthew Kipper, Mason Wolf, Hunter Edwards, Eli Truesdell, Usama Drake, Zane Galeen, Trevor Tellor, Zach Wanzak, and Lincoln Latimer for the Jaguars. Those 11 seniors in that class.
It's nice for those guys to stick with it all the way to senior year when a lot of people kind of can't do that, and it's cool to say that you stuck it out your senior year with those 11 guys that you've been growing up playing football with your entire life.
Well, that wasn't that wasn't Gonzalez. That was actually Matt Thompson being helped off, and that would be a big loss for the Jaguars. The sophomore has been so impressive. Speaking of impressive, Rashawn Cage with a man to beat, and he's tracked down inside the 30. Rashawn Cage down to the 22-yard line. That is a 50-yard run.
Looks like he's hurt on it, too. Big loss for Jefferson if he can't come back to that.
See if we can see that at the end of the play. He was being chased by Levi Heitman. Kind of lands on that left shoulder.
Yep.
Maybe we can roll that replay one more time in the truck here. Is Rashawn Cage still down on the far side? If you look at the Hawk coaching staff, Brian Dahl, their head coach. Chaska's a team that sent quite a few guys to the Division I level the last couple of years. Let's see if we can see what happened on this tackle here. John, you got a couple of number 22s.
Yeah.
Cage with the stiff arm, and then he's kind of just pulled down. And you're wondering if it's that left shoulder. Didn't see anything leg-wise.
Yeah, he ran off, so.
Yeah, so that's a good sign.
Good sign, but.
You never know with that shoulder, but at least it's not a leg. That would be a little bit more problematic. They're checking on Rashawn on the sidelines. Maybe we can get an update from Paul here on his status as well as Matt Thompson. Watts running and throwing. This side incomplete, intended for Nate Chow. Remember Chow a couple weeks ago, homecoming king for the Jaguars. That one incomplete. Had a touchdown against Kennedy on homecoming night. 2nd down and 10 for the Jaguars. Boy, Cage has had such a great start to this game.
Yep.
77 yards already on 4 carries. Inside handoff. And that's the backup running back, number 35, Corey Anderson, 5'10 junior. And he finds a little bit of room up the middle to bring up 3rd down. He picked up 5 yards. So the playbook's still open here. Jefferson, you would think in field goal range here inside the 20 for John Halaska. Did Chaska jump? They say no. That was close.
Yep.
That was very close. Watts checking the play as Anderson shifts to his right. 3rd and 5. Watts will roll to the right. Looking back corner of the end zone and floats it incomplete to bring up 4th down. Now we saw Halaska last week make a 37-yard field goal. From here, it would actually only be a 34 or 35-yard field goal, so you know he's got the range. Not much wind tonight at all.
You see Rashawn going back into the game there, so hopefully that's a good sign that he'll be all right. But, yeah, I think here maybe if they're just going to try to draw him off sides or see what they can with Alaska with having the leg that he does. But
and also being down 3 touchdowns, you might think you need touchdowns instead of field goals in this game too. So here we go, 4th and 5. Watts throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Too high, intended for Matthew Kipper, so another promising drive for the Jaguars stalls out in Chaska territory as the Hawks take over. Downstairs to Paul Forney with an update, Paul.
Thanks, guys. Was looking at Matt Thompson, number 16 on the sideline. He was not putting a lot of pressure on his right ankle, so it looks like an ankle or a leg injury. I'll see if I can find out some more on that. Back up to you guys.
Not a good sign there for the Jaguars, although Rashawn Cage, no need for an injury update on him now. He's back in the game.
Yep.
So Chaska, first 3 drives have ended in touchdowns. Here's possession number 4. Connor Suba looking for the deep ball this side, and it is broken up. Beautiful play. Matthew Kipper reached right in there and swatted it down.
Great play by Kipper. Offensive receiver might have got off with a little bit of a push there at the end as well, but great D by Kipper, getting his head turned around to that, staying right in front of him and getting up for that ball.
That was Nolan Hansen at 6'2" versus Kipper at 5'8". But
Kipper's an athlete.
Yeah, no doubt. Great play there. Single coverage as well. 2nd and 10. Suba will hand it off, and Holacek nearly broke another one. He was ankle tackled at the 24-yard line. Gain of 7, but that was dangerously close to a big one as we're under a minute remaining in the first quarter. So here we go, another 3rd down. This time 3rd and 4. It's been these 3rd down conversions and even a 4th down that has helped Chaska in this game. Suba will go to his left and find a lot of room. He's got the 1st down and more. Spun down at the 29-yard line by C.J. Hayes, but It's a 6-yard run, good enough for another Hawk first down.
Yep, and again, you see him being able to get to that outside, which has been there a lot tonight for Chaska.
Especially on the third downs, John,
Yep.
they've been able to use the wide side of the field to pick up the yardage. So fresh 4 for Chaska at the 29-yard line. Connor Suba takes the snap. Jefferson with the blitz, and Caden Osmondson gets there and drags down the ball carrier after a short gain of 3. That was number 25, Stephenson Klotz, who's in the game. Klotz with his first carry of the year as Caden Osmondson makes that tackle. End of the first quarter. The Chaska Hawks, number 1 team in 5A according to the QRF. And they certainly played like it in the first quarter, leading Jefferson 21-0. I think, John, a first quarter defined by some key plays. You had 3 big rushing plays for Chaska, and then you had Jefferson with a turnover and then a failed fourth down. On the other side, Chaska able to pick up those third and fourth downs. And although Chaska leads big in this one, there's definitely some positives for the Jaguars in the first quarter.
Yep, you can see positives on both sides of the ball really for Jefferson there. You get them to third and fourth down like you talked about, and that's a positive. You just got to kind of finish those ones if you want to stay in this one. And then on the offensive side, Rashawn Cage has just been amazing, and talked about that O-line creating holes for him, which has been unbelievable. That injury maybe they'll stall that drive, but just those penalties and those turnovers are really going to hurt Jefferson. But if you're Jefferson, you got to keep your head up. You've made some unbelievable plays, and you just got to keep going with it.
2nd down and 7 as we start the second quarter. And certainly give credit to the Jaguar offensive line in this game. And it's been a young line. We've talked about it all season. Your dad's pointed out numerous times they're starting to gel together, even with some injuries on that group. And you certainly saw that in the first quarter. Jefferson running for close to 100 yards in that first quarter. 2nd and 7 here. Need to start the comeback with a defensive stop as Suba checks the sideline. Halachik in there as the primary tailback. And a quick out, complete to Hansen, trying to pick up a block. Nice stiff arm by Hansen, and then roped down by Brian Smiley at the 38-yard line. Gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and short. Second catch for Hansen in the game.
See that? Just that little screen play can be effective. Just get those few yards that you might need.
So another 3rd down for Chaska. Don't have the official numbers, but they've only failed to convert 1, and they converted that one on 4th down. And they don't mess around, just straight up the middle with the big guy, Halachik, and he carries to the 41-yard line, 1st down Chaska.
That's just a good play call. If you got a big back like that, 3rd and short, run it right up the middle, let your O-line do what they do, and pick up that 1st down and keep looking for more.
First and 10 from the 37. Suba keeps it, and he is wrapped up in the backfield. Brian Smiley. What a play. We talked about him in the open, his big playability. You see it right there.
Yep, and that's just a really smart play to not go with that back and know that he's been killing you all night with that read option to stay on the quarterback and just take him down. And you got help outside if that back does get the ball. And, with how he's been playing, that's just how you're going to have to play him.
So 2nd and long, loss of 2 on the play for Chaska as Suba dusts himself off, back in the pistol. Wants to throw over the middle, and a sliding catch was made at the 49-yard line. What a catch by Dodds. My goodness. You were known for making some great catches just like that. What concentration by Dodds.
Yeah, that's the main goal, just keep that eye on that ball all the way in, even if it's they're not going to put it on your chest every time. It's up to you to make plays as a receiver.
3rd and 1 on the option. Suba finds the corner again. So once again, they run wide on 3rd down, and they've got the first. It's down to the 45-yard line. Gain of 4 for Connor Suba. Chaska controlling the ball. Some of the numbers here, Suba 8 carries, Halachik 9 carries, so they're getting some touches, and that means they're getting some yards on the ground, and they've got the time of possession battle too, as we're under 10 minutes remaining in the first half.
And if you can run it like Chaska has, why stop?
So in Jefferson territory again. Dodds in motion, they fake it to him, and again, Brian Smiley in on the play, as well as Nick Martindale to wrap up Suba. And getting back to that Smiley play a couple plays ago, I think those defensive ends, they get sucked in by the jet action too much, or they try to follow the running back. Most times you're not fast enough to make the play, so why not just stay on the quarterback? We see it twice in a row there from Smiley.
A lot of times they're going to over-pursue that and just get beat anyway, and he just stuck with the quarterback who's been running really well this game, so he stuck with him and took him down for a great play.
So Suba rolling right, 2nd and 10. Tux wants to keep, picks up a block, broke a tackle, and he's down at the 39-yard line. An adventurous gain of 6 as he picked up a block from Halachik to set up this 3rd and 4. 10th carry for Connor Suba.
Yep, 3rd and 4, wide side of the field on the right hash, so the wide side of the field is going to be a lot of ground to cover, so we'll see if they go back there like they've been doing on 3rd downs.
81 yards for Connor Suba on 10 carries in the first half as we have an injured Chaska Hawk. And the officials are blocking our view. Maybe we can see who that is. Is it Suba? See the Jaguar huddle. What's your dad like after games, John? Wins or losses, does he react differently, the same?
A lot of the time it's the same message of what's next, no matter what, if we won, lost, you got to focus on the next game. Just because whatever happened in the past is going to be in the past. There's nothing we can do about it now. We just got to prepare for what's next and continue to move forward as a team and gel as a unit.
The injured Hawk, number 74, Kendrick Moreno. It's to be a little shaken up, but not too terrible of an injury. Your dad was big on your 98-yard touchdown catch last week. We got an email from him. We talked about it on the show. I said, how did you react during the play? He said, I was up there screaming and yelling. Probably more excited than he gets about a Jaguar play.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's a little bit different perspective as a fan versus a coach.
Yeah, well, it's great having him out there. He just loves watching me play and watching football in general. So it's great to have a dad supportive like that and who loves to watch me play.
Connor Suba is a man wide open, and it's Dodds. Dodds inside the 5, and he's in for the touchdown.
Just another big play.
Colden Dodds, the slot receiver, just a busted coverage. It looked like Johnny was wide open down the seam, 39-yard touchdown.
Yep, that was another one of those big plays. He got him to 3rd down again on this drive, and you just give up those couple big plays that they're gonna kill you.
So Chaska now have scored on each drive. 8:41 left here in the first half. And Micah Roan twisting to the left on that extra point, but it does sneak through. So 28-0. Why don't you give us an update on your Bethel Royals here, John? Your sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. How's the team looking this year?
We're good. We've had a tough schedule to begin the year with it, but it's just a lot of fun playing with the guys. A decently young team, so I think we're only going to get better. We just have a lot of good guys with a lot of good potential, and the thing about about Bethel's what I like is it's about character, and it's not just about talent. It's a great group of guys. It's not only, yes, they're talented, but they're also good people, and they're good role models to be around, which is really fun for me and everyone involved.
Yeah, and your head coach, Steve Johnson, he is
Yep.
one of the legendary coaches in the MIAC.
Yep.
He's been there for a long time.
Yeah, he's a great guy, emotional guy, and he just loves the game. You can tell right away, just talking to him for a few minutes, that he's really passionate and loves what he does and loves who he's around. And it's just great to have a coach like that you know cares about you.
So Chaska to kick off, leading 28-0. Had a chance to be up in Collegeville last week at the Augsburg St. John's game, and one of the key guys for St. John's, and as you know, they've got a terrific team. Teddy Kalina, former Jaguar, he is making a big impact on the defensive line. Remember, he was a linebacker.
Yep.
As we get this dangerous kickoff here, was it recovered in time? They say no. It looks like it twisted out of bounds, so Jefferson should keep it here. But great to see another former Jaguar, John. Not just being a part of a team. You think of a historic program like St. John's. He is a major contributor on that team, on the defensive line, doing some great things.
Yeah, and on
Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
So Ted, it's a lot more fun to play with him than it is to play against him, I'll tell you that. But when we played together my junior year, he's just a great leader. He's a great guy, and obviously he's a really good player, and he's a great athlete. Move him to the D-line from that linebacker position, and he's just thrived there. And really fun to talk to him afterwards and kind of catch up with him. So
Yeah, their defensive line, St. John's, as good as I've seen this year at the Division III level. So the Jaguars trying to finish a drive here as this pass from Watts a little high, incomplete. They've had a couple nice drives, John, where they've gotten near the red zone and have not come away with points. And Rashawn Cage back in the game, just like he was at the tail end of the last possession. 2nd down and 10 for the Jaguars as Cage shifts over to the left of Isaiah Watts. And that delayed sprint draw. Rashawn Cage trying to twist out of a tackle, does take it to the 41-yard line. That's one of my favorite plays that you guys run. That little sprint draw, little action, kind of fakes everybody to the left and then back to the right. It usually gets for a positive play for the Jaguars, and there it picks up 6. We'll go to him. So 3rd down and 4 for the Jaguars. Watts, pump fake, wants the deep ball, one-on-one coverage, and a leaping attempt incomplete. So it'll be 4th down. That was very close. Pardon the technical difficulties there on that far side, just incomplete. We send it down to Paul Fournier. Paul?
Thanks, Josh. I'm down here with the senior cheerleaders in honor of senior night, so I'm going to have them introduce themselves, tell us what it's like to be a cheerleader at Jefferson, and their favorite cheer that they've done all year. So we'll start right here.
Hi, I'm Jalen, and being a cheerleader at Jefferson is really fun. We always have amazing practices, and they're really productive, and my favorite cheer is Jaguars Yell It.
Thank you.
My name is Natalie, and being a cheerleader at Jefferson is super fun because people look up to you, and it's just something exciting to do to have your student section yell back with you. And my favorite cheers probably are Spell Out.
I'm Abby. My favorite part being a cheerleader at Jefferson is that it's like having a second family because we all love each other. And my favorite cheer to do is go, go, get it, get it.
My name's Lucy. The best part about Jefferson cheer is probably all the relationships you get out of it, and my favorite cheer is Jaguars Get Tough.
My name is Jade Harris. My favorite thing about cheering at Jefferson High School is the cool stunts we get to learn and being around all these awesome, cool people.
Hi, my name's Haley Wheeler. My favorite part about being a Jefferson cheerleader is all the friends that I made, and I always have someone to count on, and I always love competing every weekend with the whole team, and my favorite cheer is Sherry Cool.
All right, ladies, thank you very much. I'll let you guys get back to cheering on the Jaguars. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Saw that last punt for the Jaguars, 36 yards and a 3-yard return. So Chaska on their 5th possession of the half. The first 4 have ended in touchdowns. A 1-yard run by Halachik, his 10th carry to match Suba. as they are evenly distributing those carries between those two. 2nd and 9. The runs up the middle haven't hurt the Jaguars for the most part. It's been the edge runs, especially by Suba. He will keep it here. Forced out of the pocket and spun down and sacked. Caden Osmondson brings down Suba.
Yeah, and D-line's having a really good game for Jefferson, getting back there on those runs and those passes to cause pressure for him.
Suba fortunate to hang on to that ball. Looked like it was trying to pop loose. Big hit by Caden Osmondson, who continues to make big plays. So now can the Jaguars get off the field here? 3rd and 14. They need to take it to the 39-yard line. Suba with 4 wide receivers. Holacic in the backfield. Jefferson creeping up for a blitz. Suba fires it deep this side, and a nice attempt, but that ball was always overthrown. Good effort on the play by Justin Bach, and the Jaguars have finally forced a punting situation.
There we go. Hopefully that stand can build a little momentum with that big sack and the good defense that was played right there by Jefferson.
Yeah, it started with that stuff of the run on first down. You even see pressure there on that 3rd down by Smiley. Then you get the sack on 2nd down. Containing Connor Suba. We talked about that at the top. It's one of our keys. That time he was not able to escape to the edge. Here's Micah Roan, the punter, and a low line drive kick. It takes a Chaska bounce, but it does scoot out of bounds. And best starting field position so far for the Jaguars at their own 44-yard line with 6:20 remaining in the first half. Who do you guys have tomorrow for an opponent?
We are going up to Gustavus tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep, so that'll be a good one. Gusty's, I think, have one of the best offenses in the MIAC this year, so it's gonna be a good game.
Beautiful drive down 169 this time of year down to St. Peter. Might be rain in the forecast too. Have you guys talked about that?
We've not talked about that. Any weather is perfect weather is what we talk about.
All right, Jefferson from the 44. The pitch to Rashawn Cage. Tries to cut it upfield, and he's wrestled down after a 2-yard gain to the 46. 6th carry for Rashawn Cage in the first half, 88 yards. Doing some great things on the ground.
Yep.
And he's been able to get to the edge here, and obviously didn't quite turn the corner here, but he's been able to use his speed in the first half. Back on the ground to Cage, this time forced to bounce it out. Nice play on the edge. Evan Otter, who forced that fumble earlier, able to limit the gain there of Cage. Actually, no gain. It'll bring up 3rd down.
No, the Jags are going to have to get their passing game going if they're going to want to get back into this, because if you have that one dimension, then it's going to be easier for Chaska to kind of read that and stop that. So.
Yeah, and to your point, Isaiah Watts just 2 out of 9 passing in the first half for 14 yards. Maybe he can change that here on 3rd and 9. Watts rolling and firing, man open, caught. First down yardage in to Chaska territory at the Hawk 44-yard line. Nate Chow on the reception. It's a 10-yard gain and a Jaguar first down.
And we just talked about getting that passing game going, and that's what we can start with, is just those little comeback routes that can get the sit there. Usually gets the corner to bite on that fade a little bit and just get in there for that nice first down yardage.
Fresh set of downs for the Jaguars. Watts fakes the pitch this time, rolling right, looking back across the field, now throws, and it was in the hands of Kipper, then jarred loose at the last second, incomplete. Good coverage down there by Heitman. 2nd down. .5:32 remaining second quarter. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. You'd love to get a touchdown up on the board here if you're Jefferson before the half. Isaiah Watts on 2nd and 10, hands it to Cage, has to bounce it outside, flag down. And Cage down, a second flag thrown in there. by the side judge. And the officials will talk about it here. First one probably looking like a hold against the Jaguars.
Yeah, right on that line of scrimmage.
That second flag, though, interesting as it came near where the tackle was made. Or at least that's where the flag ended up. You don't know how good the aim was on the official.
2 fouls on the play. Illegal block below the waist. Number 57 on the offense. Face mask, number 30 of the defense. Those penalties will offset. Replay, second down.
Well, that face mask helps out Jefferson a lot. That would have been a big penalty on that chop block, but the face mask negates it, so they'll redo this 2nd down and 10.
Yep, that's going to be big. Catch those little breaks. If you get that below the waist penalty, that's going to really stall out your drive. If you get that 3rd and long, 2nd and long.
And your dad's down there talking to a couple of the officials.
Yeah, probably just wants that clarification on what he did to get that penalty. It's not a very common penalty thrown right there in kind of the center of the offensive line.
It happened so quick,
yeah.
Right at the beginning of the play. Sometimes you see that called where one guy engages high and one guy engages low, but that didn't seem to be the case there. So at least looks like he was provided some explanation, although it didn't look like it was the explanation that he was looking for. But we'll see. Sometimes that might earn you a call down the road, too. So 2nd and 10. Jefferson in Chaska territory for the 3rd time. Watts, play action, rolling left, flings it downfield, and it was too far. Looking for Kipper. He was under heavy pressure with 2 men in the backfield, and it forces 3rd and long.
These Jefferson pass plays, you see a lot of the play action, not just kind of a straight back, just with how Rashawn's playing, trying to get him to bite on that. We haven't seen a lot of Isaiah doing his three or just one-step drop backs.
Yeah, again, just forced to throw that a little bit earlier, couldn't quite step into it, hard to be accurate with the pressure. So 3rd and 10. Isaiah Watts back to throw, zips it over the middle. It's incomplete. Rashawn Cage was open there, but that pass just a little bit underthrown, and it's 4th down. And I think they had something there, John. If they were able to
if he would
complete that on the run, so to speak, Cage had some open space. As you see the replay, that linebacker was trying to come up there, but missed opportunity. 4th down, they lined up to go for it here. Trying to draw off Chaska.
Yeah.
They flinched a little bit, but I don't think they quite moved across the line there. And Jefferson might take a timeout here. Or Watts could quick kick it too. And that is the decision on the quick kick. And a nice one there by Isaiah Watts. It does take a Chaska bounce. They could pick that up if they want to, but no need to take the risk. It's down at the 17-yard line, so a 27-yard punt, no return. 5:06 left, first half. Chaska leading Jefferson here on senior night 28-0 alongside former Jaguar John Carlson, Josh Powers, Paul Fortier on the sidelines. Our crew out week 7. This is the part of the season where it always seems to go by so fast because then you got that 8th game coming up in, 5 days?
Yep.
And then you're on to the playoffs from there. So a short week as the Jaguars will face yet another tough road test at Benilde next week. We'll talk to the Jaguar team and the head coach, Tim Carlson, about it on Tuesday on Inside Jefferson Football. Stick around for halftime. The Jaguar football marching band will perform at the half, and we'll try to get you some score updates from around the metro as well. At halftime here at Bloomington Stadium. And a good play to start this drive for the Chaska Hawks.
It's like a holding on the outside there.
Yeah, well spotted. This run will likely come back. And that's Klotz. We saw him with his first carry of the season earlier. That would have been number 2, but it'll likely come back on this penalty.
Holding. Number 2 on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Both teams pretty clean in the penalty department, John. Just 2 for Chaska, only 1 for Jefferson. So you got to like those numbers if you're either coach.
Yep.
So from the spot of the foul, 1st and 11 from the 15-yard line. Back to Klotz. Cuts it upfield, but then ran right in to Zane Galeen, number 55, who wrestles him down for no gain.
Again, that defensive line of Jefferson doing a really good job stopping that run game.
Yeah, the runs up the,
Right
middle,
up the middle.
They had the one by Halachik, but other than that, they have not been very successful. 2nd down and long, 2nd and 11. Suba slammed over the middle, and it was tipped and then dropped. Caden Osmondson would like that one back. It wasn't a room service pick because it was tipped, but it did hit his hands and it fell incomplete. And again, I know that's not an easy play, John, but if you want to hang in and beat a number 1 team, those are the kind of plays you need to make.
Yep, you need to make that, and after you don't make it, you need to let it go and move on to this one. Now it's a big 3rd down.
Need 11 for another conversion. Connor Suba on a hard count. Now looks toward the sidelines. Two wide receivers to either side of Connor Suba. And they throw that quick wide receiver screen. That one's batted down again. Remember, Suba, not the tallest guy, John, only listed at 5'10". Not even sure he's that tall. 4th down, back-to-back stops for the Jaguars.
Yep. Tried that screen pass again that's been working for him, but Jefferson snuffed it out this time, and we're able to tip that away before anything could happen to it.
Suba now 6 out of 12 in the first half. Should be excellent field position for the Jaguars. Chow and Kipper standing at the Hawk 45-yard line, awaiting the punt from Roan. Good rush. They almost got there. And a returnable punt. Nate Chow gets it to the 35-yard line.
I mean, if you're Jefferson, this is where you need to capitalize. Getting that good to start in field position. Defense has been doing their part, coming up with stops the past 2 drives, and now it's your turn to go and make some plays.
And it would be a good time to do it right before the half. Remember, Jefferson has the option to receive the second half kickoff as well. So, thinking big picture here, best case scenario, maybe get a touchdown here, then could start the second half with a touchdown. It's a completely different game.
That's got to be their mindset right now.
And plenty of time, still 4 minutes, all 3 timeouts, and you only need 35 yards to travel to get to the end zone, so time not a factor yet. They'll start it with Cage, stutter steps, and taken down right at the line. Just could not find a hole there. Micah Roan was in on that tackle. So 2nd down and long. Trips to this side. Chow, the single receiver to the far side. Slant over the middle, incomplete. Was looking for Kipper, but it was high and wide.
No, got pressure on him. Had to get rid of that ball pretty quickly right there.
And now Watts 3 out of 15. Remember, came in with more than 50% completion percentage on the season. So well below his typical numbers. This is a big play here for the offense. Could be 4-down territory. You don't necessarily need all 10 here if you can get some of it. Watts to his left, fires, and it is caught! 25-yard line should be enough for the first down. Ambangi with the reception. And it is, let's see where they spot it here. Should be good enough, and it is good enough for a Jaguar first down.
Yep, I like those plays where Watts is able to roll out there. Was talk about athletes on this team. Isaiah Watts is a very, very good athlete for them, and if you can get him rolling out, option to keep it or throw it, he's going to make some plays for you.
Inside handoff, Cage, and they have closed down the running lanes on him. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. His first 5 carries in this game, John, went for 76 yards, but his last 4 now combined for just 2 yards.
Yep, and that's Chaska making their adjustments too. That Cage was just killing him in the first quarter, and then they're going to try to stop him and focus on him for right now.
Delay handoff, Cage gets by the linebacker, steps it into the secondary, and has the first down. So a nice play call there to change it up a little bit, get that defensive line aggressive, and then you slip the draw in behind him. 13-yard gain and a first down.
Yep, and that's just Cage being who he is he's going to make plays no matter what the defense is in. He's just that kind of athlete where he's going to make plays no matter what.
Yeah, he's going to make that linebacker miss way more often than not, and that's what happened on that play. So the Jaguars continuing to move here. They don't need to hurry. There's still 2:30 left. And you don't want to leave a ton of time for Chaska either. So they take their time here, fake the handoff. Watts, throw back to Cage with the catch and the touchdown. On the wheel route, Rashawn Cage, a 13-yard touchdown catch. The Jaguars are on the board.
Oh, yeah, that's a great play. We've had that play in there for I don't know how many years. We did that my junior year, I remember, to Colton Miles. That's just a great play, leaking that running back out and having him go on that fade ball one-on-one, especially with an athlete like Cade going out there against a linebacker.
And they've run that play a couple times this season. One of them earlier this year went for a touchdown. That's Cage's 3rd touchdown catch of the season. Also had one last week against Chanhassen. And the point after by Chaska is good, 28-7. So just as you called up, John, the Jaguars get their best field position of the half. And they're able to mix in the run and then the touchdown pass to get on the board.
Yep, and that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get that run and pass combo going if you're going to want to beat Chaska. And on that drive, that's what they did. They got it running with Cage and then faked it a little bit and got it to Cage out in the passing game. So utilizing their athletes and doing both running and passing.
2:19 remaining first half, so now go back on the other side. Chaska, they still have all 3 timeouts. They haven't shown a ton of ability through the air. Connor Suba, 6 out of 12. They haven't needed to.
Yep, and for Jefferson's defense, you just got to keep up that confidence that you've been having the last 2 drives and just focus on, hey, we can stop these guys. We've shown that now, and let's keep it rolling and keep doing that.
Chaska trotting out to kick from the 40. Again, stick around at halftime. Football marching band will perform. Get you ready for the second half here on senior night. Final home game of the regular season for the Jaguars. Chaska's kick, low and twisting to the left, taken at the 13-yard line by Dodds. Took a big shot, but now finds room up the near sideline, and he's across the 40 to the 41. So good field position for Chaska. And I said final regular season home game. The Jaguars in Section 2, But currently 6th in that section. They probably need to win both tonight and at Benilde to have any chance at catching Waconia. And that even with that, I'm not sure that they'd be able to bump up enough spots because you've got Jefferson at number 43 in the QRF, and then Waconia, who has that final home spot in the first round, currently at number 23. So there's a big gap between those two.
Yep, it's going to be tough. Just take it one game at a time. You're not going to worry about what you're going to do for the playoff picture. You just want to take it game by game.
Suba with a late pitch, just got it out to Halachik, who gets to the 48-yard line. That was dangerous. Gain of 6.
So a little shaken up after that run, too. He's going to go out.
Chaska will speed it up here with under 2 minutes left. Remember, they still have all 3 timeouts. Klotz is in the backfield. As you mentioned, Halachik took that hit at the end of the play. 2nd and 3. Quick bubble screen to Dodds. Made one man miss and another into Jefferson territory. Corralled at the 45-yard line. First down, chains moved. Clock stops with 90 seconds to go.
I mean, those screen plays can get you the yards that you need. They're not always going to go for those big long gains, but they're kind of like an extension of the run game, and you need a couple yards each time.
Dodds with his 4th catch. Suba, option again, will keep, cut it upfield and broke a couple tackles. Finally hauled down at the 36. Looks like he's about a half-yard short of the first down, so now the clock continues to move here, John.
Yep.
We're going to hit 1 minute here. That was a key tackle to keep the clock moving.
I mean, you talk about their passing game hasn't been the strongest, so they're going to try to keep running this clock until they can get it.
Wow. Well, sorry to cut you off there. Looks like now they gave him the first down, but the clock's still moving.
Clock didn't stop.
Wow.
First.
Normally that would stop, and I'm wondering if they're going to correct that here. The play ended, John, with about a minute 10 left on the clock.
Timeout. Chaska.
And now Chaska used a timeout. Now remember, they awarded the Hawks a first down, but the clock never stopped at all. Supposed to stop at a first down. Now to give the clock operator a little bit of a break, that was a very late first down signal, and I thought he was initially short as well. That's certainly
the rest might be talking about it right now and then going to talk to the coach about it, see what they want to do.
I'm sure Brian Dahl would love a few more seconds on the clock. And he might get it.
Clock operator. The game. 55 seconds. 5-5.
55.
So I think still Jefferson came out on the good side of that because that play ended with about a minute 10. Clock should have stopped at that point, and they only put 12 seconds back, so 55 seconds, and now the clock starts again. 1st and 10 for the Hawks at the 36. Halachik, they keep it on the ground.
Yeah.
Only able to get 3 yards to the 32. Remember, Chaska just used a timeout. Clock's still moving. 2 timeouts left for the Hawks. Down to half a minute. Now they do have a reasonable kicker in Micah Roan, but certainly doesn't have a 50-yard
I think Chaska wants their timeout back if they're going to start the clock.
Please reset the clock to seconds.
Now this one I don't get because there is no first down here. The clock should have been moving rightfully at the end of that play.
51 seconds, please.
Now 51. The clock was just at 31. The guys to our right are asking the same question we are. Is it really supposed to be 51? Now they've put 51 on the board, so, boy. And now a flag comes up. All sorts of confusion here, John.
Ball start. Offense. Was lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty.
And if I'm either coach, I'd be a little bit upset. Chaska should have had a clock stoppage earlier, and then not sure why they put 20 additional seconds on the clock to get it to 51. The clock should be starting, by the way, now. In any event, Suba floats a deep pass on the seam, and it's caught for a touchdown by Dodds.
That same play we saw earlier for another touchdown in that end zone. It's that seam route right up there past those 2 safeties.
It went for 39 yards the first time. This one a yard shorter, 38-yard touchdown for Caden Dodds. And Chaska gets that touchdown right at the end of the half. And turns out they didn't need those 20 seconds as they scored with 45 to go. Point after by Roan is good. 35-7. That back-breaking touchdown right before the half amid some clock confusion. going to be one of the questions I write down for our Tuesday show, John, is I'm sure Coach Carlson got some sort of an explanation there. But I'd love to know why they put 20 more seconds up on the board following that play where it was just a 3-yard run. Chaska still showing 2 timeouts. They did not award a timeout to Chaska.
Oh. Yeah.
Very surprising. But at any event, credit Chaska there, John. They go down the field and
they did what they needed to do.
Colton Dodds, he is having a heck of a first half. 5 catches now, 2 touchdowns. He is over 100 yards receiving. 107 unofficially on those 5 catches. This is the guy the whole season, John, 12 catches for 145 yards, no touchdowns.
Wow.
So he has been very productive, to say the least, here in the first half.
Yes.
Those aren't the kind of numbers you put up at Jefferson High School.
Oh, no.
That would be like one game. 12 for 145, right?
No, that was always the goal. That was the goal for each game.
See if Jefferson can get a big kick return here.
Oh.
Cage was close to stepping out of that ankle tackle. He gets it to the 35, so Jefferson still has 3 timeouts, 39 seconds. And they've got some wide receivers. Your former teammate Joe Hurd, he's playing at the Division III level just like yourself in the MIAC.
Yep. St. Thomas, so a little bit of rivalry with Joe, but we don't hate him too much.
I think the rest of the MIAC would disagree with you, but
I don't hate Joe too much.
There you go. My wife went to St. Thomas too. The hatred a little bit lessened from that effect.
Okay.
So Jefferson late in the half. There's that sprint draw again. Cage, lots of running room. Rashawn Cage midfield. First down, should stop the clock. Or should stop the clock. We can't take anything for granted at this point. But a nice run there, 20 yards and a quick first down.
Got all 3 timeouts left as well, so got a little bit of wiggle room to play with.
And certainly now in at least range for Hail Mary, if nothing else. Watts rolling and throwing on target. And they say he stayed in bounds, and Coach Carlson takes a quick timeout with 18 seconds. They say his forward progress was stopped in the field of play, then went out of bounds. Doesn't hurt Jefferson too much because they still had 3 timeouts, but at least a couple seconds went by there as they're now down to 18 seconds.
Yeah, that's a smart play to try to get out of bounds, but you got to make sure you're getting forward.
And that was an 8-yard reception for Kipper, his first of the game. So from the 37, not yet in field goal range for John Halaska. Probably looking at 10 to 12 more yards to get into range. It'd be about a 53-yarder from here. You'd like to keep that kick around 40 if you can for Jefferson. 18 seconds, still 2 timeouts. Remember, Jefferson, the option to receive the second half kickoff. And certainly Watts, after a very tough start throwing, has picked it up a little bit here in the last half of the second quarter. 2nd and 2 for Jefferson, but time is the bigger factor. 18 seconds left in the half. Chaska with the blitz. Watts steps up in the pocket, gets free, heaves it down into the end zone, and it is incomplete, out of bounds. Boy, they had a receiver wide open on the sidelines, standing at about the 25-yard line. Nobody near him, but Watts just didn't see him, I don't think, John, and heaved it into the end zone.
Yeah, he was probably thinking he needed to kind of get it deep with the time that's left, but yeah, we had him wide open there with no one really around him. That one's going to be tough for Watts, especially after escaping that pressure, not knowing where anyone really is at that point.
Easier to see, obviously, from up here. You've got the all-22 look at it, but missed opportunity there. Now 9 seconds left for Jefferson. Time for 2 plays. They go short, trying to get in field goal range, and it's dropped. Kipper with a rare drop. And now 4th down, but only 7 seconds. Not really in field goal range here. I think John, you're just looking at a heave to the end zone at this point.
Yep, just looking for that Hail Mary ball. Hopefully one of your playmakers can go up and make a play on it. But
I suppose if you run it fast enough, you could get 2 plays, but you need to pick up the first down, number 1. Still have 2 timeouts. You could keep it in the middle of the field if you want to. We'll see what they do here on 4th and 2. Watts looking to heave toward the end zone. The ball pops out. Chaska had a chance to scoop it, but they couldn't pick it up off the turf cleanly. A couple guys collided. Obviously, in the high school game, you're down when you possess the ball, and any sort of part of you is touching the field. That's a break for Jefferson, as they say the half expired. The clock showing zeros, but not sure the officials agree with that yet. As it stands, it's the end of the half, and
Jefferson's defense is going out there.
They might put a second or 2 back if that's the case.
Please reset the game clock to 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
So Chaska's going to get in a final play, the second Jaguar turnover of the game. Do you want me to right now? Paul Fournier is down on the sidelines quickly. Paul?
Yeah, Josh, the official said that he was down with about 2 seconds left when they stopped the clock, so that's why there is one more play to happen here. Back up to you guys.
Thanks a lot. There is that play, a simple kneel down for Chaska. So an eventful half. The Hawks showing you why they're the top team in the state, and according to the QRF in Class 5. And they lead Jefferson at the half, 35-7. Some thoughts from you, John, on this first half?
Well, defensively for the Jaguars, I mean, you played well. You gave up a lot of big plays. That's going to be what killed you in that half. But overall, defensive line stepped up in that run game for the most part really well and contained the pass pretty well, except for those 2 long touchdown passes. And offensively, we're doing really well running the ball. Get our passive game a little more involved maybe in the second half. But Rashawn Cage and that offensive line are just having a great day. I mean, got that turnover that hurt us in the beginning, maybe killed some momentum. But overall, we're just having a good half and just got to keep the heads up and going into the second half.
Yeah, no doubt. Rashawn Cage, some eye-popping numbers. First half, 11 carries, 118 yards for Rashawn Cage, and a receiving touchdown as well. Down to Paul Fournier with Chaska head coach Brian Dahl. Paul?
Thanks, Josh. Coach Dahl, 35 points. You seem to like Bloomington Stadium in the first half. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was a good start, good first quarter for us. We got a little sloppy in the second quarter, so a little disappointed in that. But, yeah, good start certainly for us on offense.
Second quarter, we saw your quarterback go down a few times on sacks. What are you telling your linemen?
We got to protect. We got to get the ball out quicker. We don't want him to take hits, certainly in that position. So that's just on us all over the place. We got to get the ball out quicker and protect a little bit better.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
And we're going to throw it over to the Bloomington Colleens for the halftime show.
If you know me, know this ain't my feng shui. Certified everywhere, ain't got a print and resume. Take out LA. Talk crazy, I pull up underlay. RP to Nate, dog. I had to regulate. Public service announcement. Why my rich niggas, man? Why rich, man? Miko! Bro, stand to the left. My wrist, stand to the right. Take the right. Lil' mama, she keep looking at me. I'ma knock you out like fight. Hit it with a left, hit it with a right. I'ma knock you out like fight. Hit it with the left, hit it with the right. I'ma knock you out like fight.
I don't understand it. Tell me, how could you be so low?
Just went viral. Right stroke, put little baby in a spiral. we like to keep it on the high note. It's levels to it, you and I know. Tell them be humble. Holla, holla, sit holla, down. Holla, Lil, holla.
There you have them, the Kennedy Colleens. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final halftime performance of the season by the 2017 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. This has been a fantastic season for the band, filled with high-stepping moves, flashy colors, and a flair that will be remembered for years to come. Tonight's halftime show features music from the legendary British rock sensation Led Zeppelin. And now, for the final time this season, please welcome your 2017 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. Band, take the field.
off their second album. Here is, my apologies, this is the Jefferson Band with the 1969 hit, Whole Lotta Lovin', featuring the section, featured by the trumpet section. And now we would like to welcome Drum Major Alexander Scherber back to the podium to conduct the band for the 2017 Jefferson Flight Corps feature to another Led Zeppelin hit off their second album. Here is Heartbreaker. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows it's the Jaguar Marching Band she came for. And now, please enjoy as the Jaguar Marching Band closes the show with one of the most popular rock and roll hits of all time. Here are the Flight Corps, the Twirlers, senior trumpet soloist Andy Pfau, senior trombone soloist Ariana Fredrickson, and the rest of the band with the 1971 hit, Stairway to Heaven. 2017 Jefferson High School Jaguar Marching Band. The individuals that remain standing on the field are the senior members of the Jefferson High School Marching Band. These student performers have spent hundreds of hours on the field. They've marched many miles, performed in up to 20 halftime shows, including 2 national parades, and have positively represented our school, city, and state during their tenure in the program. These student leaders set the tone for our entire ensemble and continue to carry the torch and tradition of excellence that the Pride of Minnesota has come to stand for. Please listen as the names of the senior members of our marching band are read. Please hold your applause until all the names have been read. Freddie Alonzi, Ben Anderson, R.J. Arpin, Jacob Bond, M. Bonney, Anna Cole, Mary Dombeck, Emma Ide, Sophie Ines, Ariana Fredrickson, Sabrina Hansen, Alex Herman, Lucy Keefe, Megan Koyman, Abby Malika, Benjamin Marshaw, Cole McClure, Ekaterina Miller, Molly Miller, Samantha Moline, Jack Peterson, Emmy Perutka, Andy Fau, Stephen Rokamp, Philip Royer, Emma Sawyer, Alexa Sherber, Holly Sedler, Paige Sorensen, Madison Thomas, Rachel Tomka, Sam Vasura, Katie Weston, Emily Wheeler. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your 2017 Jefferson High School Marching Band seniors.
Back at halftime on senior night, the visitors from Chaska, number 1 team in Class 5, 35-7 over the Jaguars alongside John Carlson, Josh Powers, Paul Fournier on the sidelines. Chaska showing you why they are the number 1 team in the QRF in Class 5. Let's take a look at the first half highlights here on senior night for the Jaguars and Chaska on that first drive, John. They converted a 3rd and long. They converted a 4th down. They just made some clutch plays as they went down the field. And Halachik dives over the top for the touchdown. Connor Suba had a nice first half, too.
Yep, very good player at quarterback for them.
Jefferson is able to contain him there. Nice turnout by the cheerleaders, and they got some young cheerleaders there, too, some future cheerleaders. Connor Suba, though, he was able to get to the edge on a lot of these running plays as he was able to get a first down there. He turns it back for a double-digit gain and then tried to go deep. That one a little bit too far intended for Bach. Jefferson had pretty good coverage, although Suba was able to throw for 145 yards in the first half. There was a nice catch by Nate Chow, although the Jaguars were just 6 out of 19 throwing the ball. There was a chance for an interception by Caden Osmondson that he'd like back. And then Jefferson was able to get on the board here with Rashawn Cage, John, on the touchdown.
Yep. Great play right there. Sean getting out in space.
Rashawn Cage, 118 yards on the ground in the first half, and you saw that touchdown catch as well. Getting some all-purpose yards in. Big return right before the half by Dodds. That set them up, and then Dodds would eventually cash in on the touchdown catch, his second of the game. Dodds ended the first half 5 catches, 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rashawn Cage kept Jefferson in it on the ground, but Brian Dahl's team up 35-7 at the half here on senior night. Jefferson with the option to receive the second half kickoff. What are you looking for the Jaguars here in the second half, John?
Well, I would just say keep the game plan as it is at least for right now. In the first half, we had a lot of good solid plays, a lot of momentum killers as well. But we talked about it a little bit with Rashawn and how our offensive line is playing. They've been doing really good, getting a lot of big plays for us. We got to get the passing game going a little bit more, and I think Isaiah will do that coming here in the second half. But defensively, keep doing what we're doing. Defensive line is doing a really good job stopping up the middle. We got to close out those outside a little bit more. Doing all right on the passing besides those 2 long touchdown passes. But as of right now, just keep the game plan as is until desperate times.
It's been the chunk plays that have hurt the Jaguars here as you see Chaska lining up for the second half kickoff, and we're underway from Bloomington Stadium. Another short kick, as they all have been here, taken by Corey Anderson, one of the up backs, and he is out to the 35-yard line. Some of the first half numbers for Jefferson: Isaiah Watts, 6 out of 19 for 55 yards. He did have a touchdown, but 2 fumbles for the only 2 turnovers of the game. On the ground, we mentioned Rashawn Cage, 11 carries, 118 yards. And he also had that reception out of the backfield for a touchdown of 13 yards. On Chaska's side, Connor Suba, 8 out of 14, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also carried the ball 11 times for 90 yards. And Halachik also did some damage on the ground, 12 carries, 81 yards as we're underway in the second half, and the Jaguars are out to the 40-yard line on a gain of 5 for Rashawn Cage, now with 123 yards on the ground in this game. And remember, he's going up against one of the best defenses in the state that has already come away with 2 shutout wins this year. Are you surprised how well Jefferson's been able to run the ball here tonight, John?
I am, just not based on our offense, but this just Chaska defense known for being so good, and our offensive line has really stepped up along with Rashawn, but I've really been impressed with the offensive line most of all.
Isaiah Watts has plenty of room on this keeper. He scrambles out of bounds for an easy first down, 13 yards. First attempt on the ground for Isaiah Watts tonight, coming into the game with 43 carries for 94 yards. Some of that includes some sack yardage as well in the negative way. But a nice pickup there. Jefferson already into Chaska territory, John, for the 4th time tonight. So they've been able to move the ball as the numbers suggest. Rashawn Cage pushed out of bounds at the 40. Another easy 6 yards for Rashawn Cage. So a 2nd down and 4 now for the Jaguars. From the 40-yard line. Watts goes under center and handoff to Rashawn Cage. He gets a couple yards. It'll set up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, and these are the type of 3rd downs that the Jags need to convert on if they want to keep in this game.
And they only need 2 yards to do it. Could be 4 down territory as well. So a lot of options here on 3rd and short. And they don't need to think about any more options. It looks like Chaska's given the Jaguars a 1st down.
Yep.
1 penalty for Jefferson in the 1st half.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
4th penalty on Chaska. So kind of revisiting our keys to the game, make Chaska one-dimensional. They haven't really done that yet tonight because Suba's been able to run and throw. Turnovers, they're -2 in the turnover margin. And contain the QB. Suba's hurt him on the ground as well. So they're kind of 0 for 3.
Yep.
Good news is they've got a whole 2nd half to try to change that. Watts going deep as a man out there, and it's incomplete. He underthrew Matthew Kipper, who was behind the defense.
Yeah, he got open, just a little bit underthrown. If you can lead that a little bit more out there, Matthew Kipper's looking at a touchdown.
So they take a shot on 1st down from the 33, and that kind of that area of the field where you like to take some of those deep shots.
Yeah, we see him take a couple shots here early in the half, which is not what we saw in the 1st half, but as time goes on, that's what they're going to need to start taking those shots. They want to get back in the game.
Well, if you're Watts, you'd want that one back too. Here's Cage on 2nd and 10. He'll get a yard down to the 32-yard line. So 3rd down and 9 now. Again, you're in that area of the field where it's probably 4 down territory unless you get a big loss here. So a run not out of the question. 3 wide receivers for the Jaguars on 3rd and 9. Watts to his left, rolling and throwing, and it's just wide of the mark. He was looking for Mbongi right at the sticks. But now it'll be 4th down, and you probably have to go for it here at the 32-yard line.
Yep, probably going to go for it here, and that's a good route call there, right at the 1st down marker. Just couldn't quite haul it in.
So another promising drive for the Jaguars comes down to a 4th down. Line to make is the Chaska 23-yard line, and now they might get a little bit closer. Watts on the hard count. Looks like it is going to be on Chaska. They're already starting to march it off.
Encroachment.
So that makes this 4th down a whole lot easier. Now 4th and 4. Opening drive of the 2nd half. Jefferson trying to creep closer in this one against the undefeated Chaska Hawks. Cage deep in the backfield on 4th down. Watts looking to throw under pressure, slings it over the middle, pass caught, 1st down to the 11-yard line.
Watts hasn't really been able to hit those slants today, but that was a big one that he completed right there.
Matthew Kipper on 4th down, 16 yards, his 2nd catch of the game. So he was off target on 1st and 3rd down, but on the critical 4th down, he was right on the money to Kipper. Handoff to Cage, barreling left side, good push by the line, and he's inside the 10 to the 8.
That's one thing about Cage is he won't give up on one of his runs. He can get as many yards as he can.
16th carry of the game for Rashawn Cage. More than 130 yards rushing. Would love to get in the end zone on this drive. 2nd and 6 from the 8. Watts to throw, rolling right now. Flush back left, has a lot of open space. Isaiah Watts cuts back and is tackled at the 4. Good pursuit on the backside by Chaska to save the touchdown, but now it'll be 3rd down and about 2.
Yep, and that's just Watts being an athlete like he is. Didn't see anything there in the pass game, tucks it and goes and gets what he can.
I thought that was going to be a touchdown when he took off, but Chaska, good closing speed. They give him progress closer to the 3-yard line, so now it's 3rd and 1 from the 3. Could just sneak it right ahead here. Now Watts will check the sideline. Good opening drive for the Jaguars, trying to finish it with a touchdown. There's the sneak. 1st down easily, might be in the end zone. He is. It's a touchdown for Isaiah Watts. Exactly the type of drive, John Carlson, that you were looking for, I'm assuming, when you're in the locker room if you're the Jaguar coaching staff.
Yep, that's going to be big on building momentum, too. That's going to help the defense out a lot, knowing that, all right, we're back in this game. If we get a couple more stops, a couple more scores, we're going to be right there.
68-yard drive for the Jaguars. It took 4 minutes and 14 seconds, and remember they converted that key 4th down. Helped out a little bit by a couple of offside penalties for Chaska, making that 4th down a little bit easier. Jefferson takes advantage. And another drive offensively for the Jaguars where they show against this number 1 team they can continue to move the ball. And Isaiah Watts into the end zone for a second time in a couple of weeks. You never know. A lot of time left in this football game, John. You got maybe a turnover or 2.
Yep.
Long way to go, but that touchdown drive so big for the Jaguars right after the half. And go back to that last possession in the first half. If they just could have held Chaska at bay, you'd be looking at a 2-score game. You had that weird clock situation where they added 20 seconds off of a running play to the clock. Post play without a timeout being assessed. I still don't know the answer to that.
I've just got to take it one possession at a time, defense and offense.
Before that last Chaska touchdown drive, Jefferson had consecutive stops. John Halaska to boot it from the 40. And a nice kick here. Halaska into the end zone for the touchback.
That's going to be big. They were getting their returns out to the 40, 35-yard lines every time, so that touchback is going to be really helpful to the Jefferson defense.
Big-time kick from Halaska. So worst starting field position of the night now for Chaska back at its own 20. Connor Suba, 8 out of 14 in the first half, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also carried 11 times for 90 yards, so he was the main focus as usual for Chaska. 1st and 10 from the 20. Dodds in motion. The handoff to Botts as he is able to take it for a couple of yards. We'll spot him at the 25-yard line, so gain of 5. Klotz with his 3rd carry of the game. Suba led them in rushing in the first half as he has done all season. Halachek chipped in nicely, though, with 81 yards in the first half. Dodds in motion again. Back to Klotz, and Klotz finds room on the edge. With only Gavin Lyons to beat, Lyons brings him down at the Jaguar 43-yard line. Another chunk play. 32 yards this time for Klotz, his longest run of the season.
Yeah, and that's what Chaska's been doing all night, getting those little gains and then just breaking them.
And again, they go to the edge. This one, not maybe by design, but Klotz is able to bounce it to the edge. Really untouched until Lions saved the touchdown. Dodds in motion again. This time they finally give it to him. Dodds with running room. jumps over a guy and is finally dragged out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So Dodds 16 more yards.
So you got a holding call on the outside here by that receiver.
Well spotted. And you know immediately that it's on a receiver, right?
Oh, yeah. That's tough for a receiver to hold that block out there for that long when there's a jet motion going across like that.
Yeah, that jet motion almost acts like, kind of like that old triple option, except that.
On the out. 3. 10 yards.
Where you used to have two backs in the backfield, a fullback and a running back. Now that third option is a wide receiver coming across the field. So another penalty on the Hawks. That's number 6 now. But spot of the foul brings it right back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 1st and 10. Bach in motion this time. And they pitch it to him late. Ball on the ground. And the Jaguars have it. A late pitch from Connor Suba. And the Jaguars turn the Hawks over for the first time.
That's what you needed if you're the Jaguars, turnover, especially with how their momentum in that drive was going. They were getting play after play.
And Suba coming off the field slapped his hand to his own helmet as if to say, that was my fault. At that point, the play's kind of busted up. Should have probably just eaten that one, John, as you watch the replay here. Just a low pitch. Maybe not late, but just a low pitch.
Yeah, it's low and your running back's that far away from you at that point. You just kind of accept your fate there, go down, and try to focus on that next play. Instead, he tries to make something happen when there's nothing there and creates a turnover.
So now the Jaguar offense, a chance to strike. Watts looking long down the middle, and a catch looks like it was made. If nothing else, simultaneous possession, it would belong to the Jaguars. And it's Mbongi with a nice catch at the 35, gain of 20.
Yeah, and that's just good job fighting for that ball. When that ball goes up, he's saying that's my ball, and he's not going to let the defender take that from him.
That's something that you did so well your time here for the Jaguars, going up and getting those 50-50 balls.
Yep, that's going to be important. When you're a receiver, you know you're going to have to make plays for your team.
Nice catch by Mbongi. No gain here on first down for Rashawn Cage. It'll be 2nd down, 6:25 left to go here in the third quarter. Jefferson trailing 35-14, but looking for back-to-back touchdowns. Watts, quick out this time. On target to Kipper, who ran right in to the defender. Haruska Belcour, but hung on to the football. It's a short gain of about 3, 3rd down.
No, but I like that idea of trying to get an athlete out in space. You know, you got Kipper with his speed and his athleticism. Try to get the ball into his hands and get something going out there on the wide side of the field.
Again, 4-down territory here, so you don't need all 7. Watch for the hard count if you're Chaska. They've been drawn off a couple of times. 3rd down. Watts, plenty of time. Running to his right. Can he get to the edge? He can. Has the first down, stayed on his feet, out of bounds.
Yep, that's Watts just making plays when there's nothing there. Looking for the pass, doesn't see anything that he likes, so he just takes off with it and then breaks a tackle, being the athletic athlete that he is.
Watch the strength here at the end of that run. He outruns Micah Roan, a Division I caliber guy, and then breaks the tackle of Jacob Tice. Jaguars moving the ball again. 5th time into Chaska territory tonight. 4 wide receivers on this first down. For Isaiah Watts, now under center. Looking to throw over the middle, and it was dropped. That pass right on target to Matthew Kipper, and it was incomplete.
Yep, that's just one that he's got to come down with. Throwing a little bit behind him, but at that point, just to get it, tuck it, know you're going to get hit either way, and get the yardage that you can get.
So 2nd down and 10, a missed opportunity here. As you said, John, maybe just a little behind him, but not that far behind.
Not too bad. Couldn't lead him very much farther with that safety going to be right there either way.
Watts now under pressure, wants a screen, and it was well read, incomplete. James Feldman could not have played that one any better. He was right with Rashawn Cage step for step and brings up 3rd down. So now the Jaguars, 3rd and 10. You might be in field goal range, long distance, but really you're looking at a touchdown here.
Yep.
Given the time and score.
Probably 4th down territory right here.
Watch Cage out of the backfield too. Watts rolling to his left, has some running room again. Now flips it toward the end zone, double coverage, and incomplete. It was intended for Manny Montgomery. Watts looked like he wanted to run, John, and then at the last second saw some Chaska guys in the area and decided to throw. And it was going to be a tough play into double coverage either way there. They are bringing out Halaska for a field goal.
If I was Chaska, I'd play this fake, not go for the block here with this.
That's what they are appearing to do. Halaska, this will be a 40-yard attempt. Not much wind tonight. We'll see if he has the leg. From 40, Halaska has the distance, and it is good. John Halaska drills a 40-yard field goal. So how about that sequence for Halaska? Remember that kickoff, the last one, touchback into the end zone. You get a guy with some confidence. He just stepped up and just laced it from 40.
Yeah, he's good. I remember my senior, he was scaring our kicker a little bit with taking over his job.
This one probably had another 5 yards to it, John.
Yeah, wow.
Could have been
right down the middle.
Yeah, close to a 45. So we know his range now, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice luxury at the high school level to have a kid who can hit it from 40.
Yep.
Not many around the state can do that. So the Jaguars get a little bit closer, 35-17.
Yeah, obviously would have liked to come up with 7 there, but, I mean, you can take what you can get and hopefully just narrow that lead down a little bit more. Your defense has been playing well. So trust in them and they can come up with a couple more stops, get you the ball back.
Halaska brimming with confidence. This one not quite as deep. Received at the 10. And it's Dodds again. Look at this convoy for Dodds. Out across the 40. They set up that wall pretty much every time on the outside, and Dodds another good return. I think you'd almost run out of room on that near side of the field, but they do a good job. You see all the guys, there are 3-4 guys for Chaska leading the way. So 42-yard line Chaska, 5:06 left here in the third. Senior night for the Jaguars, trailing 35-17. It was 35-7 at the half. Alongside John Carlson with Paul Fournier, Josh Powers with you at Bloomington Stadium. Final home game for the Jaguars in 2017, at least in the regular season. Bach goes in motion, and he'll take the handoff, trying to get to the edge. Got around Anderson and has a first down into Jefferson territory at the 46-yard line. So Justin Bach with a nice run.
Jefferson's got to start sealing that edge off there. That outside run's been there for him all night, and we've been doing a pretty good job on that inside. But if we keep letting up that outside run, we're going to keep giving up first downs.
And again, that jet action working for Chaska. Bach goes this time flanks as kind of a tight end in this formation. And it's Klotz, not as successful this time as he's dropped in the backfield for no gain. Eli Truesdell first on that play for the Jaguars.
Yep, just like that, sealing up the middle like we've been doing all night. Just a couple of those inside runs have been busted, but overall we've been sealing up the middle pretty well.
It's just a little bit easier knowing that there's no jet action.
Yep.
Linebackers just able to play a little bit more freely. 2nd and 10. There's Dodds again with the jet action. He'll take the handoff. Nice block by Klotz. Gavin Lyons makes the tackle. Close to a first down for Dodds. It looks like he has it at the 35-yard line. 11-yard gain for Dodds, who is just having a monster night. Not only the 2 touchdowns, the run there, and then the return game for Dodds here in this game.
Yep.
Under 4 to go, third quarter. Suba will throw. Bach wide open out of the backfield. And he's spun down after another first down at the 22-yard line. First pass attempt of the second half for Suba, and it works out there for 13 more yards. So Chaska moving quickly on this drive now at the 21-yard line. Klotz in the backfield. Bach goes in motion. The handoff, and he's met immediately. Broke the tackle, though. He's still in trouble because he was held up for so long. Missing out on the opportunity was Ryan Adams, but really only able to get maybe another yard or so for Bach. And a negative play for the Jaguar defense.
Good job by the Jags not thinking that he was going to automatically be tackled there and kept swarming to the ball.
Yeah, good point. There's about 8 guys. Watch it after he's
kept going.
Yeah, they're able to seal the
Chow
edge.
There.
Here's a pass for Suba under pressure. And did the ball pop out? I think he shuffled it to one of his teammates. Either way, it's a loss on the play. Third down and long now. Goes in the books as a sack for the Jaguars.
Jefferson's been doing a pretty good job getting pressure on their QB all night.
Did this ball pop out? Hard to tell from the replay. In any event, 3rd and 15. Suba to throw. He's under pressure again. They want the screen, and it's read perfectly. Eli Truesdell all over it. Chaska's going the wrong way, and now it's 4th down.
It's been a great third quarter for the Jaguars, just overall momentum-wise.
Eli Truesdell with a couple of big plays on this drive. And what do you do if you're Chaska? You're on the 31. Certainly you can't punt from the 31. So you kind of have to go for it here. The problem is it's 4th and 21.
You go for it and possibly do a QB kick, but I mean at this point you're up this much points, you might as well take a shot and go for it here.
They will. Suba goes over the middle and it's caught. Is it enough for the first?
Initially I don't think it was.
Oh, they've
but
got it. What a conversion on 4th and 21. Dodds again. He's just been a backbreaker all night. And you said it, John, that broken tackle right there, probably only about an 18-yard gain, but he turns it into a 23-yard gain. And now goal to go in among the pile somewhere. Klotz takes it for a couple. The 2nd down and goal as we hit a minute remaining in this third quarter. Boy, 4th and 21, John. That's been really the key difference tonight is Chaska's been able to convert some tough 3rd and 4th downs.
Yep, 3rd and 4th down is going to kill you if you keep giving those up. That's where you got to finish your drive and get your offense back on the field.
2nd and goal.
Like a little miscommunication.
In the backfield, Dodds, but he gets away. Dodds into the end zone for the touchdown.
Could be a holding here.
Hold on, there is a flag. Jefferson will hope it's a hold. Boy, the Jaguars got to wrap up here.
Yep.
Colden Dodds.
Looks like right there on the receiver, it could be a hold.
He came into tonight 2 carries for 6 yards, 12 catches on the season. He has just been a major player.
Block in the back on the offense, number 10. The spot of the foul, replay, 2nd down.
So White Boy the touchdown, but that penalty was inside the 5, so they'll mark it off.
Another lucky break.
2nd and goal. At least the touchdown is off the board, and they spot the ball at the 13-yard line. if nothing else, Chaska in field goal range here, certainly for their kicker Micah Roan to counter the Jaguar field goal in the last possession. 2nd and goal from the 13. Suba rolling right, has the edge, turns it upfield. Suba inside the 5, diving. Is he in?
I think they mark him just short.
At the 1. Connor Suba, 12-yard run to the doorstep.
Great blocking there by the Chaska offensive line.
Right, watch if you get the replay here. That block right there on the end.
75.
And check the spot. Boy, that's really close. I think he might have got in. Jefferson fortunate, but it only saves the touchdown for one more play as they sneak it in. Probably got in on that play, but certainly got in on 3rd and goal from the 1. Chaska back on the board. But the backbreaker on that drive, John, that 4th and 21 conversion.
Yep.
So Ronan for his 6th point after. And he is 6 for 6. Our new score, 42-17. The Chaska Hawks score with 6 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, in the first half, we took a look at the section standings. Let's revisit them. In Section 2, Chaska, number 1 overall in the QRF. They're topping the section. Chanhassen, number 2 in the section right now, but a very close race with Mankato West. Remember, the top 2 teams get byes in the first round, so that's important. Then Mankato West right now would be the opponent for Jefferson in the 3-6 game. Waconia would be the home team in the 4-5 matchup against New Prague if things ended today, and they don't end too far away from now, just one more game after this. And then let's look on the Kennedy side in Section 3. We've seen Apple Valley twice this year. They're number 9 overall in the QRF and number 1 in that section. Park of Cottage Grove not too far behind at 15th overall. Then St. Thomas Academy, they would be the Kennedy opponent. Remember, they defeated Kennedy in the first round last year. Then the 4-5 matchup would be Sibley and Hastings. Remember, Kennedy, though, next week we'll see them at home, a very winnable game against Richfield. Here's a little squib kick. Jefferson needs to get on it, and they do. And look at this developing return. As the 3rd quarter ends, we also have a flag down. Might be a face mask.
I think. Yep.
And I think that was Truesdell picking that up. So he makes another nice play. As we go to the 4th quarter, we send it down to our colleague on the sidelines, Paul Fournier. Paul?
Thanks, Josh. Just a couple score updates here. It's in the 4th quarter. Chanhassen is up 35-0 over Kennedy. A weird score that happened down in Lakeville. Prior Lake took on Lakeville North. They won 8-0. Prior Lake did. That was final, and I just checked on that Minnetonka EP game. It was 18-15 at half. Currently, it's 32-21. They were in the 4th quarter. And then I also talked to a couple players on the sideline here just a couple minutes ago. They were talking to me about what the message in the locker room was at halftime. Coach Carlson said, you know what the scoreboard says is not how they've played. They've played a really great game. They've made a lot of mental mistakes, so they got to clean that up here in the second half, and obviously they've done a pretty good job so far, and we're going to have a great rest of this 4th quarter. Back up to you.
Thanks a lot, Paul. And Eden Prairie in front in that game, 32-21. They led 18-15 at the half. Good one down in Minnetonka. So it was a face mask, as we suspected, John, at the end of the 3rd quarter there on that return. So Jefferson will start out in plus territory here at the 45-yard line. Correction, at their own 45, excuse me, as they flip over the field here. So the Jaguars, well, now they will spot it in that same direction, so I guess they don't change ends. Jefferson will start from Chaska's 45.
One more play.
Oh, yeah, you're right, untimed down here.
Yep.
That's why we need you up here to clarify these things. So there's your untimed down, as of course a half or quarter cannot end on a defensive penalty. And so it'll be 2nd down and 8 as we will now start the 4th quarter. So there you go. That's the coaching in your blood, right? Your brother's a coach, your dad's a coach. You're always thinking of these situations, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're playing for an excellent coach in Steve Johnson now at Bethel. Rashawn Cage just continues his excellent night with a couple more yards here, closing in on 140 yards rushing tonight. And to give you some perspective, doing against this #1 team in Class 5, that's well over his average of 88.2 per game. But really over the last few games, he had a slow start to the season, John. He's really picked it up. We've seen several 100-yard performances, including tonight.
Yeah, and that's just who Rashawn is. He's just an athlete who's going to make plays. As we've seen that he's got more comfortable, getting more varsity experience. He becomes more comfortable in the offense.
Watts to throw, plenty of time, wants the deep ball, and it is caught inside the 15. And it's Manny Montgomery with his first catch of the game at the 11-yard line.
Great ball by Watts there to hit him on the outside.
45-yard gain. Or, correction, 33-yard gain for Manny Montgomery. 1st and 10 at the 11. Watts to throw again, looking middle now, flushed and tripped up by Micah Roan, who will get the sack as Watts back down at the 13-yard line.
Yep, now just great coverage by the secondary for Chaska. No one was there on those slant routes, and they even had that check down covered pretty well.
Manny Montgomery, that was his first career catch right there for the Jaguars, going for 33 yards. 2nd down. Jefferson can get a 1st down at the 1. Low snap. Watts has it, rolling right. Tough throw, and the catch made. A nice sliding catch. And Nate Chow with a nice sliding catch to make this 3rd down a little bit easier. Chow takes it inside the 10-yard line to the 5. So an 8-yard pickup here, and now it's 3rd and 4. Watts from the pistol. Up the middle, trying to run for the score or the 1st down. He's inside the 5 to the 4-yard line.
Yep.
Gain of 1. It'll be 4th and 3.
Obviously have to go for it here.
I think so. You obviously you're in field goal range here, but you need a touchdown. And given you're so close to the end zone, if you don't make it, Chaska's got a long field.
Trust the defense.
So here's 4th and 3. Hard count does not work this time, so they check the sidelines. Plenty of time. Watts is ready on this 4th down. Wants to throw to the corner of the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown.
Might have an offensive pass interference with a little bit of a push. Could go either way.
We'll check the flag. It is in the end zone. Jefferson still seems excited about this.
They're bringing their field goal unit on, so.
Let's check the replay before you can decide for yourself here. I don't see anything offensive there.
Yep.
Manny Montgomery, no push off there.
Nope.
That'll be his first ever touchdown. Remember, he had the 33-yard catch earlier on the drive for his first ever catch.
Pass interference.
Jefferson will obviously decline the penalty, and the touchdown is good. Manny Montgomery, his first ever touchdown on 4th down from 4 yards out. And at 42-23, Jefferson goes for 1, and the kick is good. 42-23. Did not expect this type of a high-scoring game coming into tonight, but that's what it's turned into. Jefferson has scored on every drive here in the second half, John. They have been very impressive, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
It was nice to see that they didn't, even that score with the first half ending the way it did, they didn't give up coming back into the second half. They stuck to their game plan, kept making plays that they needed to. Defense staying in their game as well, and it's just nice to see that no one on this team really gave up.
We saw that earlier in the Chanhassen game. Jefferson fell behind very early in the first quarter by 4 touchdowns and then outscored Chan the rest of the way. Holding its own here in the second half with the top team from Class 5. 42-24, onside kick still maybe in play here. You never know.
You get it to the 40 or 45 either way anyway, usually.
That's a good point. And you might be at the point of the game where Chaska's not necessarily expecting an onside kick.
Except that pass interference penalty is going to be coming into play on the kickoff.
Now, that was a during the play penalty. I don't. Usually these types of enforcements are only for post-play penalties, which that certainly was not.
And I'm sure that's what the Chaska coach is asking about right
Brian
now.
Brian Dahl is asking what the ruling is here. And now let's say Jefferson does kick it from the Chaska 45. That's certainly incentive to go for an onside kick if that's the case.
Yep.
Brian Dahl still having a conversation over there with the officials. Now remember, this came off of a declined pass interference penalty. Typically, you cannot enforce the yardage on the next play on those types of penalties when they're declined, because you have the option to accept it or decline. It was during the commission of the play. Jefferson, of course, scoring the touchdown. And apparently they're going to kick from the Chaska 45. I'd do an onside kick here, John.
Yep. I would do the same thing.
If you hammer it through the end zone, you only gain 25 yards from right here. Tack off another 10 for the onside kick. And there is the onside kick, but it is recovered by Chaska. I still like the decision because you only lose about 14 yards of field position, and you gave yourself a chance for an extra possession there, but well done on the recovery by the Hawks.
Yep, good catch there by the Hawks hands team.
So 10:24 left in the fourth quarter. Here's another look at it. They only had a couple guys over there.
That's just that one.
Even
that
more of a reason to attempt it. So Jefferson playing the percentage as well there, but Chaska has possession at the 34-yard line. Still 10.5 minutes remaining. Leading by 18. Bach in motion. Fake the handoff to him. Suba keeps it and goes nowhere. Jefferson trying to rip the ball away from him. No gain there. They did a better job, John, covering that jet sweep, forcing Suba to keep it.
Yep, and if they can contain that, they're going to be a lot better off with that run game, having them have to go right up the middle with it.
Suba, after 90 yards rushing in the first half, just 10 here in the second half. Suba on the option will keep it. That was well played by Truesdell because he didn't allow Suba to get by him and also didn't allow the pitch either. And he makes the tackle, gain of 4. It'll be third down.
Yep, and this is going to be another one of those big third downs that could be big momentum builder for the Jags or a big momentum killer for the Jags.
Remember, there's still 9:30 left in this game. Huge play here if the Jaguars want to get back into this one. Truesdell has played well in the second half.
You never know with Chaska. They went for it on fourth down that first drive of the game. They might try it here if they don't get it.
That'd be a huge gamble. Let's hope it comes to that. Bach in motion, third down, handoff to Klotz, and he breaks a tackle. It is off. Klotz wrestled down at the 35-yard line. Another big third down pickup for Chaska.
Yep, and again, it's just that wrapping up for Jefferson. Back to those fundamentals of tackling.
20
Getting that stopped, and you just can't bring him down.
26-yard gain for Klotz. Just been a missed assignment here, a missed tackle there for the Jaguars in this game. And now the Hawks can work on the fourth quarter clock under 9 minutes. Klotz again. Have not seen much in the second half from Halasik. Klotz does not find much room there. 2nd and 9. Klotz is kind of a very similar guy, though. You look at him, he's 6'3", 182. Halachik, 6'3", 217, just a little more beef. Second and 10. Bach on the handoff, has the corner. They do a pretty good job of stringing him out, but not until he gets to the 29-yard line. 5 more yards. He stays in bounds, which is important in the high school game. Under 8 minutes to go, another third down. This time it's 3rd and 4, and it's 4-down territory 2 for Chaska, so you got to stop him twice here.
You get your duty back.
Klotz behind Suba, in motion Dodds. They give it to Klotz, and he's hit immediately for a loss of a yard, back to the 30. Zach Wanzak with the tackle for loss here to bring up 4th down.
Another great play by that Jefferson defensive line.
So here we go. We've talked about it all game, John.
Yep. Another big 4th down. No surprise Chaska's really going for it here. Maybe trying to draw him off sides first, but
they're 2 for 2 on 4th down tonight.
Yep, with how they've been moving the ball.
4th and 5. Jefferson doesn't go for the hard count. Suba checks the sideline for the play.
They could be doing that delay a game to give them a little bit more room to punt, too.
There's the flag.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're not going to punt it from the 29, but you could entertain the thought of a punt from the 34.
Yep. That's
the offense.
So there's a stop for the Jaguar D. You gave up from some field position, but it does look like you're going to get the ball back.
Yep.
9th penalty on Chaska. Remember, John, Jefferson in this game, 1 penalty.
Yep, that's big. We talked about that. Turnovers and penalties are going to be what can kill you. And here in that second half, that's been the case for Chaska. They've had a lot of those penalties. Jefferson hasn't had any in this second half.
And Chaska had that 1 turnover, 2. Here's a rush on the punt, and they almost got there. And it takes a favorable bounce for the Jaguars and gets into the end zone. Ends up being a good decision by the Jaguars, but this punt could have been, as you look at the replay here, with the punt from Roan, you could have entertained fielding this and trying to advance it, but chose to let it bounce. It took a nice Jaguar roll into the end zone. And now with 6:40 remaining in an 18-point game, so it's still a 3-score game, Jefferson will need to move quickly. So Isaiah Watts, 2 touchdown passes already for him tonight. Under center. They hand it to Cage, trying to bust one in the run game. Cage to the outside, a stiff arm. And he's out across the 20 to the 24-yard line. Gain of 4, Jefferson goes tempo. 19 carries for Rashawn Cage. 142 yards tonight. 2nd and 6, quick bubble screen action. Catch is made, and it's Kipper about a half-yard short of the first down mark. Remember, they need to get the nose of the ball to the 30. It'll be 3rd and inches. And On 3rd and inches from the shotgun. Now they go under center. Probably will be a sneak here. Try to draw him off. Clock on the move, remember. 5:35 and counting. And Watts, Chaska starts to creep up to the line. They'll throw on 3rd and 1. Watts flushed. Probably can run for the first down. Makes a stutter step move and does have it at the 31.
Yep, I like that call to throw it there. If you don't get it, you're obviously in 4th down territory with the score being what it is and the time going down. So see if you can get something down the field, and if you can't, go back on 4th and try to get it then.
They were looking for a deep shot on that one too. Just was not available. Good coverage. 5:10 and rolling here, 4th quarter. Jefferson has scored on every possession here in the second half. Low snap, Watts has it, takes off, has running room, breaks a tackle, and falls forward close to the 40. Spotted at the 39-yard line, gain of 8. This might be the most yards anyone's put up on Chaska's defense this year.
Yep.
Waconia had a bunch last week and put up 30 points. But Jefferson's moved the ball through the air and the ground. Trying to pick up the first down here. Look at this. Cade shedding some blockers, but only able to get back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down. Correction, that was actually 39 Usama Drake in the lineup, John, here in the 4th quarter. Correction.
Cade might be a little shut
Watts,
up.
look at this quarterback sneak, and he busts it to the 2nd level.
That's some kind of flag here thrown back to the line of scrimmage.
That is an 18-yard quarterback sneak if it stands, John.
Yes. Just went right out of that tackle from that linebacker.
The penalty flag is right at the line of scrimmage.
Looks like it's on
Personal
Chaska.
foul. Illegal helmet contact. Number 9 on the defense.
Wow.
15 yards from the end of the run.
Ooh.
Results in a first down.
Another big penalty for Chaska.
Double-digit penalties now. So on a 3rd and inches, it's essentially a 42-yard net where you get the 33 yards. Excuse my math. 18 yards on the sneak and another 15 on the penalty. Don't expect to pick up that on a 3rd down QB sneak. So Watts, as they near the red zone, heaves it toward the end zone as Chow out there, and no call with some heavy contact. The Jaguar bench cannot believe it.
Smart play by Watts just to throw it up instead of trying to run it there. Not a lot of running room in front of him. Give Chow a chance to make a play. Looked like he had a little contact there.
Let's take a look.
On the replay.
I bet your dad's going to be talking to you about this one on the way home. Let's roll this here, guys. I know we got the next play coming. We want to see the end of this. You can judge for yourself. Boy, look like
a little bit of it on the legs.
So a first down here for the Jaguars as this drive continues. And it's Watts on the keeper for another 12 yards. Jefferson moving it in chunks. 8th carry for Watts with more than 60 yards running to go along with his 2 touchdowns through the air. Kipper in motion on the jet action. They give it to him. Nice block by Drake on the edge. And Kipper spins toward the 10. Forward progress stopped at the 11. 7 more yards as we approach 3 minutes. Second and short for the Jaguars. Drake to the left of Isaiah Watts. Watts wants to keep, and Chaska all over this play.
Nothing there.
Watts, a loss of 1 that time. Really using Drake as a lead blocker here on this series. the senior here on senior night, 6'2", 170 pounds. Had a nice block on that jet sweep from Kipper. 3rd and 5, 2:20 and counting. Jefferson does have all 3 timeouts remaining. Watts to throw under heavy pressure, rolls left, has an open space, stumbles forward, had the first down, nearly the touchdown.
Just got tripped up.
But it'll be goal to go. Isaiah Watts with another scramble for a first down. That stops the clock at 1:59 as Jefferson hurries to the line of scrimmage. Under center, Watts pitches it to Drake, and he's hit in the backfield and dropped for the loss. Big play there by Nicholas Stanger. And the clock, 90 seconds and running here in the 4th quarter.
Just not probably enough time for Jefferson.
4-yard loss. It's still a 3-score game, so you need some crazy things to happen.
Stuff. Really came alive in the second half.
No doubt.
On both sides of the ball.
Watts looking on the out route, a little bit behind his intended target. He was looking for Manny Montgomery, the sophomore, again incomplete. Now 3rd down and goal. And Jefferson might use a timeout here.
Timeout. Jefferson.
So another good drive by the Jaguars. 42-24. It was a 35-7 game at the half. So Jefferson outscoring Chaska in this second half, 17-7.
Yep.
1:11 left. Jefferson driving again.
It's just those couple plays in the first half that they gave up. Some broke down coverages on those 2 touchdown passes, having to break some long runs that really cost Jefferson in that first half. But in the second half, they come alive, cut down on those mental mistakes that they were talking about at halftime.
Yeah, and the only time Chaska scored in this half, they converted a 4th and 21. So I know it's that cliche, but you take out those handful of plays, and Jefferson's been able to stay right with this #1 Chaska Hawk team tonight. And if nothing else, putting a little bit of pressure on them here in the final moments. A touchdown here would certainly apply a little bit more of that pressure. I'm looking toward Nate Chow at the bottom of your picture here, John, on this 3rd and 10.
Give him a chance on senior night, make a play. He's a great receiver.
Single coverage down there too. Watts, he's looking his
Looked at
way,
him.
not open. He tries to scramble and he's hit and sacked. It'll be 4th and goal.
No, they looked at him.
And under a minute.
Go for it here, obviously. See if you can get another touchdown on the board.
So 4th and 10 from the 14. Final shot here for the Jaguars. Clock under 40 seconds. And Watts looks toward the sideline. Jefferson kind of waving the white flag here, but they want to make sure they've got a play down here on this 4th down to try to get more points on the board late. Here's Watts on 4th down, scrambling again, heaving it into the end zone. It is caught, but out of bounds.
Great catch by Chow. Just couldn't quite get that 1 foot down in the back of the end zone there.
So Jefferson turned over on downs. We turn it down to Paul Fournier on the sidelines. Paul.
Right there at the on that last play, and Nate Chow was about a half inch in from getting that foot down to getting a touchdown. A couple final scores going on around the state. Totino Grace lost to Blaine 16-28. Minnetonka ended up winning that game Eden Prairie ended up winning that game 21-39. And then Mankato West, a team that Jefferson will see in the playoffs possibly, beat Faribault 62-6. Was unable to get the Kennedy score. My phone died before I could do it. Stick around for this post-game show. I'll be able to catch an interview with Luke Welch, here in a couple minutes. Up to you.
Thanks a lot, Paul. And that final kneel down from Chaska ends the game tonight for the Hawks, who now are 7-0, 42-24. I think the game a lot closer than that score, John.
Yep.
This might be Jefferson's best game of the season.
Yeah, just a lot of great things all around the board, especially you look at that offensive line blocking for Rashawn Cage there, and then you look at that defensive line too, just really handling their business up front and stuffing their quarterback in the back for a lot. Just a lot of plays that broke down coverages, some broken runs that really cost the Jags in the first half. But you look at the second half and we just outplayed Chaska, plain and simple, and that's a great team that they played, and that's really going to build some confidence for these guys going forward. Even though you get that loss, you look at that second half and say, wow, we really stuck with a good team there.
Yeah, you look at some of the numbers for Chaska. Connor Suba, 2 out of 3 in the second half for 14 yards. Didn't do much on the ground, just 4 carries for 14 yards as compared to 90 yards in the first half. They were able to get some yardage with the running back Klotz in the second half, but nowhere near the damage they did in the first half, and they just had the 1 touchdown that was made possible on that 4th down conversion. Conversely for Jefferson, some of their numbers, Rashawn Cage, 142 yards tonight on 20 carries. So you're looking at 7 yards per carry for Rashawn against this number 1 team in Class 5. Isaiah Watts, he had a rough start but picked it up in the second half, had the 2 touchdown passes overall. And just some terrific numbers for the Jaguars as they outscored Chaska in that second half, 17-7.
Yeah, it's just the numbers that you can see is that they're really progressing as a team. You talked about Rashawn earlier in the year not having those kind of numbers, and you see him kind of tonight as he got more comfortable playing with this team, that he can be a breakout player, and that's big, building his confidence going forward, and just knowing that he can have these type of games. And then this young offensive line as well, gelling as a unit and saying, wow, we can make some plays if we really try our best.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights tonight as this young Jaguar team continues to gel. Isaiah Watts had a couple nice quarterback sneaks tonight. There was one of them for a touchdown. 3 all-purpose touchdowns for Watts. Klotz was the guy that gave Chaska the big boost in the second half. Here was that nice 33-yard run for the Hawks. Later on in the drive, they would convert a 4th and 21 as Jefferson recovered a fumble there for their 1 turnover of the night. And then how about this, 40-yard field goal. John Halaska just drills this thing right down the middle. Jefferson is able to get a little bit closer. Connor Suba still making some plays. He got down to the 1-yard line, would score on the next play on a sneak after that 4th and 21 conversion. Probably got in on that play, but Chaska would make sure that they got in on the very next one. Suba doing some damage both in the first half and the second half. He's Chaska's go-to guy, and their fate in the playoffs in terms of how far they go is probably going to be determined by number 11 and how well he plays in the postseason. They're going to get a first-round bye in Section 2. Here's Watts. Nice catch. First ever catch for Manny Montgomery, and then later on the drive on 4th down, they go back to Montgomery. Here, John, for the touchdown.
Yep. Just a great route by Montgomery right there, getting past their linebacker, and a perfect ball right over the top from Watts.
You ran that corner route a time or two.
Yes, I did.
For the Jaguars to get in the end zone. Nice for the young sophomore to finish off the scoring for the Jaguars. They return back a couple more times on downs in the second half. Chaska wins it tonight, 42-24. Some very positive things for the Jaguars as they have another tough opponent next week. On Wednesday, a short week. They're at Benilde St. Margaret. And Chaska will finish out their regular season. They have a tough one against Armstrong. Of course, Jefferson played them last week and lost 51-10, so by no means a gimme, obviously, for Chaska. And they've got Chanhassen right on their heels in Section 2 in terms of that pecking order, so an important game. Chanhassen at last check was in front of Kennedy by a wide margin in the second half out at Chan, so they are most likely 5-2. As Jefferson now 1-6. As the Jaguar band here playing on the post-game show. John, just from a Jaguar standpoint, we've talked about some of the positive things. When you look ahead to the playoffs, they've got one more game, obviously, but the big goal is the postseason. It has to give Jefferson some confidence, knowing they've had such a tough schedule this year. They've gone up against big-time opponents week after week. You know, you're going to get into a section play, and you might have to face a Mankato West, but at the same time, you've faced tough teams like that all year.
Yeah, and just going off that, you mentioned the tough schedule, and then also the youth of the team, I think, is really big. Early in the year, a lot of guys who haven't played varsity football before, and now as the year's gone along, they know that the intensity and the speed's going to ramp up a lot, and just having that experience is going to really help them, I think, playoff time.
All right, one of the major themes we talked about earlier on in the game, your family knows the Welch family from Chaska very well. They have a son, Luke Welch, diagnosed with cancer, and he was an honorary captain tonight. Paul Fournier is down on the sidelines standing by with Luke. Paul?
Thanks, Josh. We did have a little change-up because he had to go take a picture with his team. So I got the Jefferson seniors here. I'm going to have you guys tell me your name, what your position is, and what's one thing you want to tell Coach C that you want to go away with.
My name is Nate. I play wide receiver and defensive back, and I just want to say thank you. He's really turned me into the man I am today, on and off the field, so I want to say thank you for that.
All right, thanks, Nate.
Gavin Lyons, wide receiver, free safety. Just want to thank Coach for everything he's done for me. He loves me. He's been hard on me, and I love him for it.
My name is Matthew Kipper. I'm a wide receiver and a cornerback, and I just want to say thank you, and I'm really grateful to Coach Carlson.
I'm Zach Wanzig. I'm a left tackle, nose. And I'm very thankful for all the time and effort he's been given.
Can we just? Mason Wolf, linebacker. I wanted to thank him for all the heart he puts in. He has way more heart than anybody else here.
Eli Truesdale, outside linebacker, and I'd just like to thank him and say that I wouldn't change anything else.
I'm Usama Drake, running back. I just want to tell Coach that he was a good overall coach, more like a father figure.
Lincoln Latimer, right tackle and nose tackle. I just want to thank Coach for always caring about me and always checking up on me, getting me into this sport with my brothers. I really appreciate that.
Hunter Edwards, outside linebacker. And I just want to thank Coach for making the game fun again and for pushing me every step of the way.
My name is Zane Gillen. I play nose, and I just want to thank Coach for making me a better man and a better football player.
All right, guys, good luck next week against Benilde St. Margaret. We'll see if I can catch Coach Carlson, have him walk kind of over here. Coach Carlson, why don't you come over here? Coach, all your players want to say thank you for what you do. That's what I just asked them. Kind of talk about tonight's game.
You know what? I don't think the score in the first half was indicative of the game. We moved the ball on offense and some of the same kind of things where we didn't finish drives, hurt ourselves. Defense, they had 15 drives in the first half. 10 of them we got the third or fourth down, we couldn't get out. And they made a big play. So it's like one play each drive. And then the second half, love the way we played. Their coach even said, you guys played a lot harder than we did. And that's all you can ask for your kids. Play hard, and maybe some good things will happen. But I'm happy where we're at. We took some steps tonight in being able to play physical.
Coach, in my segment, Paulie's playbook for you guys was have fun. Are you having fun this year?
Oh, I am. You talk to the kids. You've seen them on Inside Jefferson Football. How can you not have fun? You don't coach high school football to build a resume for the NFL. You coach high school football because you like working with kids, and it's every day at work. It's not work. It's a lot of fun, and I love every minute of it.
All right, Coach. I hate to tell you this, but you get number one Benilde and a short week.
Why not? We go 6A Armstrong. We go Chaska. I like where we're at. As long as you don't bring your color guy with, I think we're 0-2 with the color guy up in the booth. We got to find somebody else to do our color for our games. We got to fire that clown. But yeah, they're going to be tough, and they're disciplined. Not a lot of plays, but they play physical and fast, and we take more steps. I told our kids, hey, we don't go out to win one game. We go out to win playoff games, and that's what we're building to them.
All right, Coach. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. All right, walk over here.
All right, thanks, Paul. Evidently, your dad doesn't want you to come on the road with him next week. You probably can't anyway. It's a midweek game. Would be tough on your schedule. Welcome back up top in the postgame, Josh Powers, coach's son, John Carlson, former Jaguar wide receiver, current wide receiver at Bethel. As we talked about those seniors down on the sideline, I get a chance to meet each one of them here on camera, but I've talked to a number of them throughout my time covering the Jaguar team on Inside Jefferson Football. Just great kids, great personalities, and they gave great effort tonight. And you saw, Coach Carlson say, hey, Brian Dahl said we played harder than they did tonight, and that's a compliment to the way the Jaguars played, isn't it?
Yeah, and one thing that my dad's going to preach is attitude and effort, and I thought that was a great example in tonight's game is that they never gave up. I mean, you think of that first half being down like that, a lot of teams could have gave up knowing that, wow, Chaska's number one, they're a really good team. They came out and they beat them in the second half, and I found that really impressive and a great example of their character on this team.
All right, now down on the sidelines, we have Luke Welch.
Thanks, Josh. Got the man of the hour, man of the night, Luke Welch. What's it like to be honored by an away team in your same conference?
It makes me very happy that they honored me for this, and yeah.
So how did that all happen? I know Coach Carlson said he's good family friends with your family.
Yeah, he knew our family. I've met with him a couple times. He's been at my grandma's, and I met him. So yeah.
All right, is there one message you want to say to the team before you guys go into the playoffs?
Just keep kicking ass and let's win. Let's go to the
U.S. Bank.
Yeah, U.S. Bank Stadium, and let's just win. Let's go.
All right, Luke, thank you, and congratulations on being the man of the night.
Thank you.
And right over here, Coach Dahl, you guys kind of had a slow second half. Kind of talk about what happened coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, hats off to them. They played hard. They played a lot harder than we did tonight. So credit to them. I'm just disappointed in the lack of effort and discipline that we had tonight. That's not like us, and we just didn't have it in the second half.
Your quarterback got sacked a few more times than he normally does. Kind of what happened there?
Yeah, they did a good job up front. I mean, they brought a lot of pressure, and credit to them. We didn't do a great job up front picking that up and being physical, and then we didn't get the ball out on time like kind of we talked about earlier, and that kind of kept going on the second half. We missed some reads. It's just lack of discipline on offense and defense, just not the brand of football we need to be playing right now.
Suburban White district champion, what's that mean to you guys?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we told the kids. We had some kids kind of down because we know we didn't play our best game, but they competed, and every week they took it a day at a time and a game at a time, and that was our goal all year. Is we wanted to win every ball game, and so far so good. And it's great to be district champs. That doesn't happen all the time, so we're going to enjoy it. Wasn't our best effort tonight, but we're going to enjoy it. It's been a good season so far, but not done yet.
All right, Coach, you have great smelling breath, and it's kind of cold, so I'll let you catch the bus out here.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Back up to you guys.
All right, Paul, and congratulations to the Chaska Hawks. They are the district champs here in the Suburban White District, and also great to hear from Luke Welch, our honorary captain tonight. What does it mean to see Luke down there getting some FaceTime and an interview here and being such a big part of the story tonight?
Yeah, it's great. Just not only for him, but just for the communities of both these schools. Get together, and it's a way that people can bond and just come together. It's something bigger than football. I mean, football is fun and great, but it's also a game, and there's more to it than that. But it's also a great way to bring communities together, like we see tonight with Luke and just his incredible story that he's had, and it's just a great way to bind two communities together.
Yeah, great event tonight on senior night. Chaska, congratulations to them. They're 7-0 now. They're the district champs. 42-24, they defeat Jefferson. The Jaguars maybe played their best game of the season. They're going to need to play again another strong game next week against a very good Benil team. We'll talk to the head coach, Tim Carlson, on Inside Jefferson Football on Tuesday night about that Wednesday game. But that'll wrap it up from here. For Paul Fournier, for John Carlson, this is Josh Powers saying good night from Bloomington Stadium.